Oh my God. Hi. Sorry we're late.
Death broke every damn thing. Me and Raven was trying to fix shit. Death was fucking shit up. Like it was rough, but we got Death situated finally. I mean, she's in.
No, we're not. Fine.
We'll figure it out and get through it. That's part of live streaming is you
We're
have to
getting
deal
there.
with stuff.
No, Raven couldn't show up onto her own stream. She went missing. Just let you all know. Like, we're like totally confused that she can't show on her own fucking stream.
How's everyone doing? Thank you for being here. No, this is not pre-recorded. This is very much live and in the fucking moment.
Very much so. I mean, Death could you tell it like she wants to, and I'll tell you the truth. She broke the shit, and we was trying to fix it. And
Look at how complicated.
That Skeet just had himself a big old death sandwich, and he's not telling you the truth.
yeah, I had Death on both sides of me. I didn't know whether to cover up or bend over. You know, it was both sides there. I didn't know.
He had no complaints, I'm telling you.
I think I got a virus, but it's all right. You know, I mean, it ain't the first time.
I mean,
Damn it,
how's I had
God
a
willing, it
virus
won't be the last.
yesterday. All right, let's say hi to chat. We've got Irma Gerd, Steph, Lori, Kitty 1838, Skeeter, me, Kayla, Irma Gerd, Tiff, Sasha. Let me go through. T Girl, Jarella, Andy, Chef Maku, Harmony and Life, Andy, Hillbilly Belinda, that Amber chick, and I'm sure more will find their way in. So we are here to watch Skeeter's documentary that's on Amazon Prime because Skeeter is accomplished in life and actually like does stuff.
I attempt to do shit. Ever say I do it? I don't know. We give it a fucking college try. Am I?
So all his links are in my description. If you enjoy watching this here, I think if there's like a good question in chat, we'll pause if Skeet wants to answer it. I'm sure you'll be doing a Q&A after. There's my banner. Thank you, Death. I'm talking. See, she went quiet. I knew you were fucking around in the background. I was waiting for it.
See, she's about to break shit again.
If I go quiet, I'm up to mischief.
I know. But please do keep in mind, this is available on Amazon Prime. It is $3 to rent. It is only $5 to purchase and support your boy.
Absolutely. If you guys hit those links up, like that, it's all going on the 27th. We plan to go and start to work on the follow-up piece. We're going back to this location and trying to see what we can see.
Nice.
If I get everything situated anyways, I would like to get that so I can live stream to you guys from the location as a film's getting made, so you guys get like the full behind the scenes shit. And when the second piece drops, you'll be like, oh shit, I was in a live stream behind the scenes with these idiots.
Nice. Yeah, I'm down for that. I'll sit there and I'll hang out and be like,
I always love it because I think like the viewing audience, you guys, we're focused on so much and what we're doing in the moment. So like if we have a live stream up, you guys might be able to catch shit that we miss because we're doing 90 different things at once.
Well, I've done those before with you, Skeet, as you know. Like sometimes you've walked off and sometimes I've been the only one and you're like, watch that camera, Def, and tell me if anything happens.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, at the funeral home, like you was catching all sorts of shit. Like,
yeah, and I timestamp it for you and I'll tell you when you come back, don't I?
Yeah, I had to download that whole live stream and like look for all the timestamps.
There was quite a bit of activity when you went off, wasn't there?
Yeah, it stirred up a little bit. I mean, we was back there in the bombing room on that piece, and I'm thinking, okay, if any place, I mean, we have dead bodies on the premise. We're in a bombing room. There's coffins and shit, and some things popped off, but it wasn't. We had more activity in Phantom Farm than what was that on a property that had bodies. So,
but it's just the body,
right? Yeah,
that's just the meat suit.
That's
and I
funny.
think Tyler and I,
it can work like that. I mean, you can go to a graveyard and literally not get anything, and then like you go to a small little residential house and you'll get a lot of activity. You know, it's not always,
right?
Where you'll get it is not where you'll get it.
I think Tyler and ours, like, the conclusion we're coming to. I think a lot of this shit is person specific instead of location.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I
the
don't.
land tube. I guarantee though, once I pop out of this meat suit, I'm not hanging around my body. The first thing I'm
Yeah.
gonna do is go find my ex-husband. I'm gonna hide his keys and open all his cabinets at the same time. Try me.
I want to try
Hide your
Doc Brown
keys.
shit and just go back in time and just if my spirit can
Mhm.
just hang out with Molly Crew on
Oh,
tour.
yeah.
Um,
Love that.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Go find Randy Rhodes.
yeah, go crazy training with old Randy Rhodes for a while. You know.
Right.
But I mean, if I can go to the dollhouse in Fort Lauderdale, like with the hairband days, like I went to the dollhouse in Fort Lauderdale, but that was like I think the same females was working there that was back when they went there.
Oh
You know,
Jesus.
like they had seen some shit. Like that wasn't the first
No.
pole they swung around. Like them motherfuckers had seen some shit, and you could tell. It's like damn.
Etched on their faces and deep lines.
Yeah, they up there pregnant with big hair and shit, like still doing the white snake shit. I'm like, damn, well, somebody left fucking stonewashed jeans in on the 80s are over. Like,
Ooh, Jarella shared a tidbit. Jarella says the second floor of a job I had in New Orleans was haunted, and people were touched, spoken to, and breathed on, but I never experienced anything.
and again, going back to person specific, like that Tyler's the same way. Like, I mean, you guys will see in this film, like that's the biggest paranormal thing that happened to me happened on film, and they never did fuck with Tyler. And I was begging the universe. I'm like, man, this dude is not going to believe this shit unless you do the same shit to him. So,
Yeah, but that's the thing. Unfortunately, like those that are most cynical, you know, I don't think it's just the fact that they're cynical. It's the fact that they haven't experienced something a lot of the time, right?
yeah.
And it doesn't mean that they're not open to it, or you know, I think everyone can open themselves up to that sort of thing. Everyone can tap into it. Yeah, I just think it's a case of that they need to tap into something other than themselves. Like it's
Yeah,
an energy
100%.
related thing. Like if they get their energy right, I think they can receive. Like even the most ardent cynic, you know, if you put them in the right spot, they'd probably experience something.
But without giving like too many hints on what the hell is going to be going down with this follow-up piece, we're going to be doing, if we get to do everything we want to do anyways, we're going to be doing some provoking shit. Like we got a ritual planned and the whole nine to try to charge the whole house or the whole building with whatever. And and then there's something called the God frequency. I'm sure some people's heard of that.
I've
Like
heard of
it's new
that.
to Mike and Cuss band. Mike and Cuss brain. We're gonna be trying to get close to that God frequency and see if we can call this shit in. Just open it up.
Nice.
There's something in that in numerology. So the God frequency is 963 hertz, I believe. And if you know anything about the occult or numerology, like the 369 is very important anyway, and it's in reverse. So yeah, 963 in the God frequency.
Yes, there's a lot of lore behind the God frequency and this sapphire, the color sapphire.
No, but I'm saying it's related to, like, it's the opposite of in reverse. So, like, in numerology. So, yeah, the negative would be, you know, the 369, and then in the God frequency, it's 963.
As above, also below, or however the
Right,
quote
you
goes.
get
Yeah.
it, exactly.
Is there anything you wanted to preface with before we start playing it, Skeet? Or
no, it's any type of questions you guys have while we're watching this, fire them away. And if you like what you see,
Me and Raven are going to line
Raven
together.
party.
So what we're going to do is we're both going to play it, and if one of us, like if Raven's thing goes off, then I can pick it up.
Yeah, if I drop off, Death can drive. So just
tell me, do a 3, 2, 1 when you hit play, so I can hit it at the same time.
All right, I'm gonna go to present, share screen. the tab. Share. Let me know when you've got it open and you're ready.
I got it all open. I'm ready to hit play when you are.
All right. Yeah, play. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Cool.
Before we got any type of logo.
My name is Bob Hicks, paranormal investigator and co-host of the Tales from the Dark podcast. I've been investigating the paranormal for the past 15 years, and it's an absolute passion of mine. In early 2022, my coworker and fellow paranormal investigator Tyler Terry came to me with a perplexing tale about a haunted infirmary, a basement ghost, and a phantom scratch. This is that story.
Nice bit of filming, Skate.
Oh yeah, all those
nice
shots
shots.
there.
Yeah.
Tyler's a wizard at it.
This was all edited on an iPad, you guys.
Yeah,
I
every
love
bit
that.
of it was Tyler.
Yeah, it's
Mad
not
genius.
just the editing though, like the actual camera work itself. Like there's some nice shots there.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it's
I love
beautiful.
those creep shots. You know, just edging around the corner and going down
Yeah,
the hallway.
I like them too. Yeah, and yeah, it leans into that eerie feeling, right?
Thanks, Airblender. Coming in using technical terms. Yes, the B to the roll. Hey, Granny. There with the film knowledge.
I'm Tyler Terry. I have been interested in the paranormal for, yikes, I guess over half of my life. I guess it runs in the family. I've grown up with my relatives telling ghost stories, and we lived in this old farmhouse where we all had strange experiences. So since then, I have been to many allegedly haunted places, and I've experienced absolutely nothing. I am skeptical, but I'm not a skeptic because I do believe something's going on. I just think we don't really know how to define it yet.
My name is Nathan Barnes. I didn't realize that it was even a question to most people that the paranormal or supernatural world didn't even exist.
Is there any spirits that you wish to communicate with us?
That's always been present in my life as far as I can remember.
I first heard about Randolph County Infirmary on a paranormal television show, and if the claims they were alleging were true, then it was worth making a trip. So I called my friend and film partner Nathan and told him this place is supposed to be the real deal.
So I expected to come in and be the same old, lot of sitting in the dark, trying to bide time, trying to get excited about something. But found out rather quick this place, you don't got to try too hard.
Yes, Tyler's absolutely single.
A 16-room poorhouse was built on a limestone foundation on the outskirts of Winchester, Indiana. A poorhouse, also called an infirmary, was a refuge for those who'd been cast out from society. For better or worse, those who had nowhere else to turn would be sheltered and fed in exchange for housekeeping, farm work, or any other service they were able to provide. The original structure burned down, but by 1899, a new building was finished, the same building which stands there today. Randolph County Infirmary was constructed in the shape of a Christian cross, which reflects the conservative Christian views of the community at that time. For most of its life, the building served as an infirmary, but it was eventually converted into a retirement home. By the time it closed around 2009, only 5 residents remained. Of the almost 1,500 people who passed through its doors,
But he runs the
over
missing persons
250 of
mystery.
them died there. Throughout it,
Say again.
Whitty said that she recognizes his voice. If you guys know the Missing Persons Mysteries, bigger channel on YouTube.
Oh,
He
okay.
also runs that, and then he runs Tales from the Dark also.
That's an interesting building. And the fact that it's even built in the shape of a cross skeet, that's kind of odd, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, it goes back to that time period where they did those time.
Yeah, it all
There's
surrounds
builds.
the religion.
Yeah, I love this. This place is insane.
How old was that building? What did it say? Winchester, what year was it?
Oh shit, you don't catch me slipping. I'm not. I should know this by now, as much as I've listened to this.
You knew it was going to be me that stumped you with the first question. You know
right,
it.
because the original building there, like he said, it burnt down, and then they built this one in place there, and which probably wasn't the smartest thing in the world because there's unmarked graves there and all that from the people that's died there, and they're just they got like a little metal outline of a fence, like four corners built up to like perimeter it off, but they don't know for sure how many bodies are in there or if all the bodies are in that little grave area. So
Steph, it said the house was Winchester, Indiana.
this is the locations in it's Randolph County, Indiana. Yeah.
And thank you, I told you so.
its history, many people have experienced peculiar, unexplained, and downright terrifying phenomenon in the building. Because of this, in 2016, Randolph County Infirmary was repurposed as a paranormal attraction.
In the 1930s, Ida Gunkel was dropped off at Randolph County by her son, who could basically no longer take care of her because she had a disease that was destroying her cognitive ability. The staff at Randolph couldn't really control her behavior at times, so they ended up locking her in a room at night in the basement with bars on the window. One night, she asked for a broom to clean her room, and I guess she ended up pulling some sheets off of her bed and working the broom up through the exposed pipes in the ceiling, and unfortunately, she ended her life.
Strange activity has been reported all over the infirmary, but the claims coming out of Ida's isolated basement room are by far the most disturbing. Some paranormal investigators speculate that the entity in Ida's room isn't Ida at all, but rather a malevolent mimic, something non-human impersonating her. Visitors and investigators have reported feeling intimidated by the entity, as well as experiencing physical touch, ranging from a finger lightly trailing down their back to sharp nails dragging across their skin.
The basement is a lot like the rest of this property. You can be sitting and getting frustrated because the lack of activity, and that can change pretty quick, and it can last only for a second, or it'll last for a half an hour.
So we're sitting in the basement hallway outside of Ida's room.
We was sitting down here, Tyler, Amanda, and myself, 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and nothing. No different feelings down here. I mean, you couldn't feel a different vibe. It was all much like you're sitting in your living room at home. We was discussing leaving the basement because of the lack of activity, and we've been down here for so long. We was going to push on to go somewhere else. I felt something, a slight movement on my necklace, kind of like leaned forward a little bit, and I could still feel a little bit of resistance. And at that time, I believe Tyler noticed something going on with me.
And Nathan suddenly jumps out of his chair.
He asked me what was going on, what happened. I told him what happened, and instantly he told me, don't touch it. Don't move your hands nowhere near around it. Don't mess with it at all.
And honestly, my first thought was, really, this is what we're doing? This tired trope that we've seen in every paranormal TV show where the guy gets a scratch on his back and...
So I turned my back to him for him to look at it. And when he pulled my shirt down...
Yes, that's exactly what we did.
And the air hit it. I didn't want to say what I felt because we've heard it 1,000 times. And it sounds scripted and it sounds like BS. But when he pulled the shirt down, I did feel a burn. So I told him, I think my exact words to him was, I don't even want to say this out loud, man, but I do feel a burn on my neck.
There I was pulling his shirt down so I could see if there were any scratches back there. And lo and behold, there were two long raised welts.
To me, it kind of looked like two welts down that kind of came into one at the end. Even now talking about it, it kind of scatters me as far as...
You can pause a minute, right?
Happened to me And what the hell?
Good pause
Wow,
too. Right there.
Skeet. So what did you
Yeah.
feel? You felt a tug on the necklace first of all? You felt the necklace like slightly lift up? What did you feel initially?
Yeah, I was sitting there, and Amanda, the girl there with us, she was petrified. It was her first time being out there and everything. So I didn't want her to freak out, but when I leaned forward, I felt like something like my necklace was caught on something. I felt tension behind there. I never felt the scratch. I never, at least my memory won't let me remember. I didn't feel no pain at all. I was like trying to hurry up and get into, you know, dad mode damn near. I didn't want to freak Amanda out and have her scared, but at the same time, I'm like, oh shit, something finally happened down here, and I didn't feel none of the burn or scratch or anything until he pulled that shirt down. As soon as the air hit it, that's the first time I felt any pain from it.
Wow. So it was literally you just felt a tugging of the necklace, like you felt like something pulling on it almost.
Yeah, like somebody playing with the clasp of the necklace there. I didn't feel no pinch or pain or anything like that. The mimic down there, I think they came up with that because they also seen what they called like a dark shadow creature that would crawl on the walls and everything down there. So if you go down the lore rabbit hole, they thought it might have been a mimic in there pretending to be everybody that was really an evil spirit. But spending all the time that we spent inside of that building, I never felt the presence of like evil, maybe like mischief, but never, nothing. Like I didn't think the devil was going to bust out of the concrete and snag me up or anything. I
Yeah,
didn't feel none of that.
I've watched this several times because one of the things I can do, I don't have to be in a place to read it. And I definitely don't get like evil. I've gone into places where I've immediately turned around and walked out and been like, nope. Definitely it's more of like
Yeah, you can feel the energy. You can feel whether it's more malevolent or mischievous, or you know what I mean by that. Like there's different levels of it, and you can read the energy. Yeah, and you can usually tell.
Yeah.
See what I think happened. My theory on the scratches, like before this, I was going through a lot of shit behind the scenes and everything, and I did one of my prayers in meditations where I asked the universe to show us a sign if Tyler and I was on the right path. And I think Raven was the first person that kind of looked at it and said, like, okay, the scratches, it looks like two coming into one. And if so, that's exactly what I asked the universe to show me, to make sure Tyler and I was on the right path, like career wise and going down this paranormal world. Is this the path we're supposed to be on?
Oh yeah, that's right. Because we talked after, and I was like, "Oh,
I remember that also, Richie. Like, yeah, when we talked about it over at the Terror Barn channel, even like when Laurie's come in there, and we've talked about it before, even.
Yeah.
And Skeet gave her certain information, and yeah, like if anyone has spent any time with Skeet, we all know that like he's definitely got a gift, and is in tune with this stuff, and
maybe schizophrenia. We don't know yet.
Well, look, we're all crazy in the right way. That's the difference of us lot, right?
Who knows? It might be a gift, or this fucker might end up in a padded room in 3 to 5 years.
Like some call it gifted, some call it mental illness, but tomato, tomato.
Right. Yeah. It's all angel kisses. That's all it is. Just kissed by the Lord.
All right. Did I hit play again? And yeah,
that's one thing. Like, even when me and Skeet first became friends, like I feel like it was very much based on energy. Like we just connected, like immediately. Like we got each other, right, Skeet? It feels like we've known each other longer than we actually have. Even I feel like because of that. And Skeet does have a very pure energy about him, like white light, surrounded by white light. That's all I can say. Yeah, he's a good guy.
I appreciate that. I just try to be real. There ain't no need to put on.
And that's all I ask from people.
Yeah, there ain't no need to put on a show. I am what I am. I'm not what I'm not. So fuck it all. Life's too short to play a role. You know what I mean? You
Right.
just
No,
gotta
it
be
is.
yourself through the
That's what I
motherfucker.
say. I don't understand those that I always say the
Appreciate that,
truth is
guys.
far more fun anyway, right?
Right, yeah. Like, I'm the fucked up chaos that I am. I ain't gonna try to hide that shit. Fuck it. It's either gonna sink me or let me fly. Who knows?
You don't get to steal my title. DC called me the agent of chaos, I think you'll find.
All right, should I hit play again?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am, you can.
Okay, yeah. And if you want pause, just be like pause.
All right.
Oh,
That was a
you
good
know,
pause on the
get
scratch.
scratched by something that's
Right?
nothing. Yeah, we'll mess with your psyche for a second.
Now, it's worth noting that for 20 minutes before Nathan jumped out of his chair, he was on camera and he never reached behind his back or anything like that. So I know he didn't scratch himself for at least 20 minutes before. Unfortunately, at the time, the investigator who was with us, Amanda, was pretty freaked out and wanted to leave. And I was even getting indications from Nathan that he wanted to get the hell out of there.
A big part of me wanted to get out of here, but I knew I couldn't react in that way because it would send Amanda into a pretty bad panic.
Yes, he is.
And I didn't want to scare her. And I knew as soon as it happened, there's no way Tyler's going to believe anything out of my mouth because I don't even believe what's going on with me right now.
I didn't want to be those investigators who find what they're looking for and then run away. So he stayed for a little while longer. Things cooled off. Nothing else happened. And about 20 minutes later, we went back up to the base room and the scratches were completely gone.
I don't see it anymore.
Probably about a week later, I called Nathan and said, we're going to make a pact of forgiveness. I'm going to forgive you if you fake the scratch for the video and wipe the slate clean. And you're going to forgive me for doubting you if the scratch was real. And his reaction surprised me.
No, I'm all about a good prank and a good laugh, but when we're doing things like this, I try to be as serious as possible. And I mean, we still joke around, do what we do, but as far as faking things like that, that's a game ender for Tyler and myself.
He didn't seem offended. He wasn't defensive. He honestly seemed like he was in a state of still processing what had happened.
So when he asked me that, I mean, that was in no way did it make me feel any type of way. I expected that because I was asking myself those same questions, trying to wrap my brain around what happened to me down here. And I remember I was just pacing outside, just in this state, this limbo state of
You pause a minute, Raven.
what's real, what isn't.
I think that's normal. I think if anybody's ever experienced anything, I think legitimately, those that ladle on all the details and that would be defensive if you was to doubt them. But most people would doubt themselves and their own experiences, legitimately. And that's just the truth of it, right?
Right, yeah, it put me in that
I've
headspace for
experienced
sure.
things, Raven's experienced things, and I know you definitely have, Skeet, as well. And that's your first go-to, is to be skeptical, even of your own experience, even up to that point. You're like, did I imagine it? Did I? Yeah, you're trying to look for something tangible yourself, even.
For sure, something to make sense.
You get so freaked out also that you kind of want the excuse. You're like, if I can find an excuse, it'll be preferable at this point because you're so fucking freaked out.
Yeah, I went back to that hallway and tried to look at my positioning close to that little gas valve, that I somehow get that. Then we watched the footage, no, I was nowhere near that shit. I'm like, okay, what? Because I think going into a field like this, you got the seekers and then the experts. Case in point, the seekers being the ghost hunter, the TAPS crew. They go in, they're more experts in breaking it down. Then you got the seekers who are still, I guess experts in their own right, which I don't know how you can be an expert in the unknown. You can just kind of gain knowledge. But anyhow, you have the Ghost Adventures crew, where Zach's in there taking a shirt off, trying to fight the air and shit. Them are more the seekers. And I think I fall in line, if I'm being 100% honest, is I do have knowledge on things, and I'm gaining more and more knowledge as we go through all these processes, and I'm enjoying it. But I'm more of a seeker. I'm just wanting to seek. I know that there is something that is happening around us, and I know, that there's multiple different veils.
Yeah.
And to me, it isn't so much if it exists, it's what is it really? I don't think it's, I think we use simplistic terms to try to cover a very complex dynamic in the paranormal.
I
So I
believe
just
so
enjoy
too.
seeking and just
Yeah.
gaining the knowledge
And I
as
think
much as
it's far
possible.
easier to try and explain it away. That's what I'm saying. It's almost like the human condition to explain it away because we want to quell our own fears, right? We
Sure.
don't want to believe that really there is something amiss. So it actually is far easier to make those excuses and almost talk yourself out of it that you did experience something in a way.
And trust me, Tyler and I beat this situation up trying to figure out, what happened. And that phone conversation, I know it was hard for Tyler because I could tell from his voice. He's like, man, I really don't want to. I'm like, no,
Doubt
man, it's
you. Yeah,
fine.
you
Like,
felt shitty for yeah, I know what
yeah,
you mean.
doubting me. I'm like, no, dude, I expect it because, like, literally, I can still remember that phone call. Like, I just described there. I was pacing outside of my house, and I'm like, still trying to gather and like come up with some sort of theory or hypothesis of what the hell actually happened down there. And I just had to finally say, man, like, I don't. That was very paranormal.
Yeah,
you know.
that's what I mean. That would be my go-to. I'd be like, did I lean against the wall? Was there a nail against the wall? But you know that you wasn't. You sat forward. You know that it was recorded on camera that you wasn't touching anything. You know, if anything, you was slightly at an angle, sat forward. You know, like almost in a semi-what crouching position, away from everything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And we really wasn't talking about anything as we was sitting there. We was getting ready to was done. We had been down there for about an hour and was getting ready to go to a different part. So we was talking about going to a different location, and then boom, that shit happened. So I'm like, well,
Yeah, so
I
you
guess I
kind
ain't
of had
supposed to go
that
anywhere.
restless energy where you're all like, oh, getting tired now, been sat down here a while, all talking about like, should we evacuate and go elsewhere in a minute, sort of thing. And just out of nowhere, that's when it happened.
Yeah,
It's strange how that sort of happens. It is usually at the most unexpected times, and it's so cliche, but it's true.
right. And that this is the type of thing that used to piss me off about paranormal TV is these scratches and things. It's like, man,
Yeah.
it's the easiest shit. If you wanted to fake it, you absolutely 1,000% fucking could. And I hated to even have to say that I had gotten tugged on there because it's like, okay, there's no tangible evidence there. You just gotta take it
Well, it's
at
funny you
face
should talk
value.
about
So,
that because, like, me and Raven have talked about that because, well, you know, over the Halloween season, we was talking about all different ideas to do for streams and things, and I was talking to her about doing a paranormal breakdown, you know, like debunking basically, because there is far too many, like you've seen them as well as everybody probably has, really shonky, like ghost videos where you can tell that they are all set up and these sort of things do need like weeding out, you know what I mean, and pulling out to the surface because it's the only way that you find your way on the legitimate track of what the actual truth is by pulling out all the bullshit.
right. And you gotta take it at face value. That's why when we go on to this next one, if I can get the shit that I need to get anyways, there's no way we can hide. Like I want everything just to be wide open. So there's no way, like if we're live streaming as we're filming the piece and everybody's seeing all the movement as I am, and then the piece comes out, there's no way that we fabricated anything or put anything on. And that's our whole goal as a team is when we go into this, it's real. It's whatever happens, happens. We're not going to
Yeah,
oversell,
you
undersell.
want to keep it as gritty as possible, and yeah, so
Right.
therefore, you know, it's untampered with it. You don't want it over polished. That's the other thing that I find with a lot of these things, these paranormal investigators, when they get to a certain level and their production rate goes up through the roof, and it's all well and good, they're getting the financing for it now and whatnot, but it becomes an over polished article, you know what I mean, and it loses that fiber of what was actual genuine about it. And you can tell that these ones that I'm sure we've all seen them that have grown out of nowhere and then all of a sudden everything is like overly produced and overly saturated and to the point where you're like, well, you couldn't every single time have it on that level, you know what I mean? And you start to doubt them.
Once that's what I love about our crew, us being independent. We ain't got to worry about ratings. We ain't got to worry about none of this. We don't got nobody in our ear trying to, make something out of nothing or staging shit. We can be I don't think nobody really gets. I mean, I'm sure there's probably like YouTube level type people that get into this field and they go in with that.
As
They
they go
want,
along. Yeah, I've seen those. I've seen like a
yeah,
tiny channel that grew out of nowhere, like literally, and he was a really good guy from the north of England, and he started off with like these almost like he would go on exploring like old houses and things. So like all of these disused houses, and he wasn't even a paranormal channel at first. He started getting paranormal activity in these old broken down houses that he used to go exploring in, and then he started putting more the occasional paranormal clip up and things on his channel, as well as like these little exploring like old broken down building videos. And then out of nowhere it just turned into full paranormal, and now it's an overly produced piece of shit. I can't even watch it, and it's just so amped up. It's ridiculous. And it's like, you've lost all fucking integrity.
well, I can guarantee you with our crew, it's never going to be fabricated. I'm not trying to pull a wool over
No, I
anybody's
know
eyes
that,
or get one
because
over. Like,
you're on your own quest, right? And that's
right,
the thing.
and
You're on
that's
your own quest to find
yeah,
the truth, and therefore, that's why you saying that it's not commercialized. You're not sponsored, or you've not got advertising back, and you've not got other fingers in the pies that's going to poison it.
right. Yeah, I mean this is all like it's all independent. That's for damn sure. That's
I think that's the
um,
best way, in all honesty, and it's the
right.
best way, the integrity of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's the pros and cons. Obviously, we don't got the funds to do what we want to do quite yet. But if we did get those funds from somebody, they would be trying to influence the piece at the same time. So, yeah, it's pros and cons of it, and absolutely, Lori, that's definitely true.
Yeah, I think if you got the financial backing that you so desperately needed, it would have to be the right financial backing that didn't interfere with the mix. You know what I mean?
Right, and to be honest, to do things like this, like really, the only big cost is getting the place and getting the proper equipment, and we got the place already again on the 27th, and we got some equipment, but I mean, I'm still trying to crowdfund and get to update some of the shit that we have. So I, bring the capabilities along, but that you definitely touched on what it is. It's my own spiritual type of journey to try to figure this out. And all of us are there. We're all trying to figure this out. And we just want to bring the viewing audience with us.
Right.
If it's,
And I think that's
sometimes
the
it's
case with
boring.
most people that have even experienced something, more often than not, it's like you start getting more inquisitive about it and trying to find your own legitimacy to it, if you know what I mean.
Right. Absolutely.
Yep. And if you would like to support Skeeter in the making of the second one of these, his PayPal link is in the description.
Oh, that's good that you did that, because I was just about to, actually. I was about to bomb the chat with some links.
Okay. All right, you do that, and I'm going to hit.
With the Cash App links and PayPal links. I'm horrible.
I'm sure Steph has them too. All right, I'm going to hit play again.
So that was really convincing for me. It seems like something happened to him that night.
I couldn't believe it. I was saying. I still can't believe it fucking happened to me.
So in my day job, I work with Bob, and after I had stewed over this for a while, I decided to bring it to his attention just to get a new perspective on it.
And that's how I ended up in a dusty old basement, trying to contact the dead with my Tales from the Dark co-host, Brittany. After hearing Tyler and Nathan's tale about the scratch, I had to experience this place for myself.
Well, if there's anything down here, we'd love to speak to you.
Just got the chills.
Yeah, I got real cold. Yeah, very strange. So we should be approaching Ida's room, right? Right here. Okay. Would you like that in? Sure.
My name is Brittany. I am a co-host of Tales from the Dark. Growing up, I grew up in a Baptist home, and we didn't really have much interest in the paranormal. My guardian did, but my grandmother did not, and I spent a lot of time with her. So it's been since Tales from the Dark that I've gotten into it.
How you feeling?
Okay.
It does feel strange being here.
Yeah, this was my first paranormal investigation like this. Everything that I've done before has been on a small scale. So knowing that there was previous experiences here, knowing that it was someone within our group that it happened to, that was definitely a good first time for me, I think. It's a little scary. I mean, anywhere you go at night is going to be scary, but it's almost comforting, which is weird considering the history.
Yeah, I agree. Well, why don't we see if we can contact some of that history?
Brittany and I now began a spirit box session. The spirit box quickly sweeps through radio frequencies while also producing white noise. Theoretically, spirits and other entities are able to use these frequencies to communicate with us.
So we are in Ida's room, the room where allegedly a previous warden here committed suicide. Ida, are you with us tonight?
No.
That was very clear. So if Ida's not here, who is here?
Honestly, out of the entire group, I think I'm the least skeptic when it comes to paranormal activity. And I just wanted to see what was going to happen here, see if we could test our new gear and see if there's anything in particular that we could reference to that would draw out any activity.
My name is Bob, and this is Brittany. Help?
That sounded like an Alexa voice.
It did, but it sounded like it said help.
Help us.
Help you with what? Would you like us to leave this room?
Somebody walking.
Somebody's walking?
No.
Okay.
Entering women's first floor corridors. While Bob and Brittany explored the basement, Nathan and I decided to start the night in Doris's room in the first floor women's hallway. When Doris was 9 years old, she was kicked in the head by a mule, which caused a speech impediment that apparently was too much for her family to deal with, so they dropped her off at Randolph County. Now, fortunately, she quickly found something that she loved, which was cooking, and being trained by the head cook. By the age of 13, she was the main cook for Randolph County, and she did that for the rest of her life. She died in 2004 from complications of bird flu in the first floor sick room. To find the room Doris lived in, you only need to know one thing about her. She loved dolls. I've always felt pretty calm in Doris's room.
Doris, do you kind of play Mama Bear around here? Is that what they kind of dubbed you, Mama Bear? You cooked and helped take care of everybody. We was here the longest.
When was up in Doris's room, if you feel anything, for me, it was almost like a mother nurturing type feeling. Other than the fact I'm staring at 23 freaking dolls, that puts you on the edge, at least me. I'm not a big fan of dolls.
Pause a minute. Yeah, me too. I don't like dolls either. Dolls creep me the fuck out.
Especially those period of porcelain dolls where they used human hair on some of these dolls, and the only thing I'm thinking about when I'm sitting there is like, fuck.
Yeah, I hate them. And my grandmother, right? So she used to have a spare room in her house, and in the back room. And even as a child, I would never go into the back room. And I used to hate it if my grandma used to make me come in there to get something with her or do something in there. You know, sometimes she'd be doing like house chores and she'd be like, oh, come in here with me, sort of thing. And I'd be like, I don't want to. Because she had a collection of dolls all in there, all on the furniture tops and in cases, and they were all really old, prized, really high quality porcelain dolls, you know, probably worth an awful lot of money, but they used to scare the bejesus out of me, even as a kid, and I just hated them. I never liked dolls. Even as a young girl, I was never one of those girls that was into dolls. I found them all creepy.
Yeah. I would like to just point out Skeeter's face in this scene in the room full of dolls. He's just like, I don't want to be here.
And I don't like clowns either. Clowns or dolls. Those are both don't like either.
No. And then you look at Tyler there in this shot. He looks like a young Jesus.
He does. He does.
He do be looking cute though. And
yeah. And he's single. You can send all the nudes you want to Tyler Terry now.
I tempted I used to just meme and put like all kinds of articles in his hands, like, you know, loaves of bread and fish and things.
Yeah, you guys can get on Twitter and Tyler Terry. I think it's Tyler Terry now or whatever it is. You look at my friends list. All the nudes there. I send him a bunch myself. He gets tired of looking at my moose knuckle, and I'm like, you know, clowns. Yeah, clowns. I'm not a fan of either. Fuck them.
I hate clowns.
Nobody smiles that much, man. If motherfuckers smiling that much, you got some skeletons stacked up somewhere.
For those of you that are familiar, I met the original Bozo the Clown, and it's
no, stop.
I grew up in like John Gacy area, and like my maternal grandmother used to call and complain about the smell coming from John Wayne Gacy's house. I don't like clowns.
Oh yeah, you had a real reason to have your phobia for these laughing juggle.
Like clowns or dolls. And one time I lived next to these people and the guy knocks on my door and he's like, the ambulance just took my wife away. She's having a heart attack. Could I bother you to drive me to the hospital? And I was like, absolutely. And they gave me this like porcelain doll as a thank you. And I was like, thanks.
Oh no.
I sold it on eBay. I was like,
yeah, I would put that in the charity shop or something.
Yeah. All right. Skeeter, I'm gonna say Skeeter really enjoyed filming this part.
Oh yeah. I was up in that room several times.
I wouldn't like to be there. I wouldn't like it at all.
When I did my solo investigation in there, I'm like, man, all these fucking eyes, like all, you know, the whole crew's back in like
that's
base,
the other thing.
nerve center.
I've seen quite a lot of footage, and I'm sure you have as well, of like dolls that move of their own accord or all of a sudden do.
Yeah.
Right. And we're not just talking topple over, like absolute, like definitive, like head turn and shit like that. Like, no.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Like, again, with our crew, we want to test the fiber of everything. Like, and I think a part of it, the reason why we do like the solo shit alone with no camera guy, you are the camera guy, you are in the moment. Because there's like another theory we're testing there is when you're actually alone and you're afraid, does that bring your natural frequency off of your body closer to that God frequency that allows shit to happen, or are you just filling in blanks with your subliminal mind? Both are very possible, and it's hard to test any of that. But
I know what you mean.
You're
like,
still testing the foundry.
Your energy to make it, you know, not just like more perceptive, but also like your head is also in that place, and therefore you're on high alert, and you've already got like cortisone and adrenaline pumping around your body, and you know what I mean. It is a chemical process as well. It's why it is best to try and remain calm and collected, like you tried to in these situations.
Yeah, I didn't run down the hallway. I wanted to run. Like when I first spun around, I thought, Tyler's brother was fucking with me or something because he was there that first day.
You're ready to
nobody
throw
was
hands.
It
Yeah,
would
I
be
spun
so
around like
tempting, but you've got to go in with that approach. Like, you've got to make a pact with each other and be like, look, I know that we all prank each other in all other scenarios, but this is the one time that we can't afford to, because it will
yeah,
make everything questionable if we do that to each other, right?
yeah, and we all have that like as soon as we go
Yeah.
into a place and we start rolling for real, like we'll still have jokes and shit in between walking and shit. We're not serious all the time, but we're definitely,
No pranking on
and
location,
yeah,
that sort of thing.
right.
Yeah.
At least while we're filming. If you want to fuck with us afterwards, then yeah, cool, do it.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah,
not by
I would say that
far
you've got to
trying.
have that as a pack anyway, regardless of whether you're doing it with friends or just crew or what, you've all got to go in there with that same intention.
Right, absolutely. I would really love to hear from you tonight, Doris.
I have this device you've probably seen a million times by now because so many people come here. It's a tri-field meter, detects electromagnetic energy and magnetic energy and radio frequency.
EMF meters measure levels of electromagnetic field, or EMF, in the environment. While EMF has many mundane sources such as power lines or electrical appliances, it is theorized that it can fuel paranormal activity, and alternatively, that spirits or other paranormal phenomenon may produce EMF when manifested.
We don't know for sure that
Any of this works.
ghosts are real, let alone what they manifest, when they manifest.
Mood just got really heavy, and I just got a huge whiff. What was that? Huge whiff of women's perfume. I can still smell it right here.
My name's Austin. I'm a paranormal investigator and an author. I've been investigating the paranormal for probably about 15 years now. The first time I heard about Randolph County, I was actually with my old team. We were investigating the jail right down the road from here. And the owner of that place actually just acquired Randolph. And he was kind of telling us about it. So I've been wanting to come here for, God, probably 6-7 years now. Being a paranormal investigator for a long time, you got to realize you come in with zero expectations whatsoever. You don't come in to prove a place haunted, you come in to disprove the hauntings there. So realistically, you're coming in, you're expecting a night of absolutely nothing, just quiet, darkness, and you talking to your friends like an idiot in the middle of an empty room.
And we're spiking.
See, I like that. That's the best approach to take.
Sure. Yeah.
We're looking for interaction of any sort.
Because so much of her life was spent there, the basement kitchen is also considered to be Doris's domain. Phantom sounds of busy kitchen work have been reported in this space, as well as a woman's voice and the apparition of Doris herself.
Maybe flip one of these coins. We know that people have said that they hear a woman in here occasionally. I have to be honest, a lot of people get scared down here. Are you purposely scaring people? Or is it an accident?
Do you have a hard time communicating with people? Do you maybe feel misunderstood? I was nervous. I would rather be out in the woods at night than I would in a creepy, dark building. I wasn't expecting the silence. If you are not feeling the air with your own questions, with your own tools that you're using, it gets so quiet, which is terrifying in itself.
Smell's gone.
You always got to hope that you can disprove claims, because it's really easy going to a place, hear a bump, hear something that's natural.
Pause a minute,
right?
right?
This is proof of the paranormal, or see a glare.
Did you get a reading of the EMF, Skeet, or not? Do you know?
I'm trying to think back. We do get a few bumps on the EMF. I remember a few times throughout the night. that would correlate to like some of the happenings that we have that Tri-Field did peak a few times.
Yeah, I know he held it up then, like as he was getting the odor right of the perfume, and if anybody knows, like that's quite common. Like you get quite strong smells. There's several smells, like you can get like a sulfuric smell, smoke, almost like tobacco smell, perfumes, all kinds of scents, and they often disappear as quickly as they arrive. Like there's no trace of them. So that's the strangest thing about it.
Now we explain a little bit too.
Whether he got a reading at the same time or not.
Yeah, like what we do on location. Also, how we got Bob and Brittany's downstairs currently, and then Tyler and I's upstairs, and then Austin is watching the security cams from base there. We don't. Then we kind of switch locations. We don't let them know what happened to us and where we just came from to see if there's a pattern there. And we luckily was able to catch a pattern with that base room absolutely throughout the night. Like,
oh wow, oh that's good. Okay, cool.
Air coming off of a window or anything like that.
Literally nothing now.
I mean, I firmly believe I could go into Toys R Us and prove that it's haunted using evidence that really isn't evidence. It's just much better to me personally to be able to totally disprove stuff. And then if you have stuff left over you can't disprove, then you got to present it as what it is.
Mm-hmm.
My hand is tingling. It felt like it passed by.
We walked through a cold spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. That's been twice that we felt that way.
Experiencing the chills, experiencing the nervousness, the tingling. It honestly could be the energy of Doris, or it could just be the general feeling of this place. I am not completely convinced that what I experienced is paranormal activity in the sense of a ghost, but I do believe it was weird. See, where we should feel a cold spot is down there, because of the doorways down there.
Looks like
The fuck is that? Finding that body bag on my first paranormal investigation was alarming, to say the least, and definitely thought someone might be killing people down in the basement. But I think it also was just a fear factor, help the ambiance of everything around. Can we not do that sort of thing?
Yeah, that was just a trash bag stuck with sheets and shit, the shape of somebody put in that freezer.
Fuck that. Fuck that.
I love Brittany.
Yeah, her sound bites. What the fuck is that?
And you would though, which makes it natural, right? To me.
Right.
I don't know if it's because like we're visiting a bunch of sweet little baby dolls. I don't know, you're talking about what's not sweet about these dolls.
Fucking Tyler.
Oh fuck! Look at them. I hate them all. Everyone
While was monitoring surveillance in the base room, the camera we set up to record him suddenly stops rolling. Fortunately, the audio recording device in the room remains unaffected and is able to capture the odd events which are soon to occur.
Okay, so there was just a noise, and now what is that?
Yeah, my camera died out of nowhere.
I think the bag's moving.
Bring all this.
Smells bag.
Mm-hmm.
There's someone in here.
And that camera's even plugged in. And
so the base is like one
went dark. Like we had my Black Magic on a tripod plugged in with a dumbing battery, and it's still cut out right there for whatever reason.
Yeah, so did the battery drain, or it just cracked out the camera itself, the visual?
It just turned off. When we got back up there to switch, and because I think Brittany goes into base second, and when she went in there, like when we all went back to base to kind of get ready and know who's going where and what and shit, we noticed the camera was off. I'm like, well, that's fucking That's impossible. It's plugged in with a dummy battery. That there's no battery to drain. You can't drain a dummy battery. It's plugged into the wall.
Power
But
source. Yeah.
yeah, it shut it down.
That's crazy.
One place that, like, as paranormal investigators, we always call it the safe space because usually nothing goes on there. So when I'm in base alone, I'm not expecting anything to happen. I don't have any sort of feelings or anything like that, but that kind of quickly changed. I believe it started with the phantom smells of perfume and the noises of what I thought was a zipper on a book bag getting flipped, and I actually witnessed it. And someone sitting down behind me. I mean, there were a couple things that were happening. You know, when I walk into a place that's not haunted, prove me wrong. So I had no expectations coming in, and then as soon as stuff started happening, it just kind of piqued my interest. Like, maybe there is something going on here at Randolph.
After a relatively quiet start to the night, we decided to switch things up. Brittany will now occupy the base room, while Tyler and Nathan return to the basement for the first time since Nathan was scratched. Meanwhile, Austin and I will try our luck in the first floor women's hallway, home to Doris and her dolls.
I'm gonna walk all the way down, just kind of get familiar with what doors are open, which ones aren't.
Is Brittany in that base room alone?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that.
Fuck yeah, dude. Was that knocking? That sounded like almost like a growl or something being drugged.
What the fuck was that?
That was deep. Did you hear that? That was deep as fuck.
Hello? Is anyone or anything here with us right now?
What the hell would be right above that? Because it sounded like something being drugged above us.
Yeah,
Is that where the small like pulpit is?
I think so. Would you like to?
Oh no. Oh no. Back with the dolls.
Yeah, for sure.
This is face tracking on the dolls, and I fucking hate it.
I don't like
I
it
hate
either.
every single bit about this.
Oh, that's amazing.
If you want, we can set the.
It's gonna be me. Yeah.
That's just Tyler. That's the thing. It's kind of his thing, you know.
Oh my God, Steph. Oh my God. Hold on, Raven, you're gonna have to pause because I gotta explain to Skeet what Michael McGee is.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
So over at my channel, over at Deadly Content, me and Little Boots covered a couple of doll streams. And this one particular guy is called Michael McGee, and he likes to collect dolls. He also likes to review blue movies at the same time. So it's quite a strange, content on his channel, a mixture of dolls and blue movies. Yeah, he's a weirdo basically, and he loves the dolls. He fully loves the dolls.
He's
he likes
doing
undressing the dolls. He likes tugging
bad
the hair of the
things.
dolls.
Bad things. Bad Michael McGee. Bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go. That clears up Steph's comment for you.
it is.
Yeah, you can have that room. You can go up there and
That'll scare you. Michael McGee will scare you. If this doesn't scare you, Michael McGee will.
If you want to get rid of the haunting, bring Michael McGee there because he will defile all of the dolls and any paranormal activity will be like, nope.
Defile.
He
or
would.
maybe that mimic would show his head and take care of him.
I just gotta say though, Brittany, right? As much as in the base room, you feel like, oh, well, I'm safe here. It's in like a little. No, I would rather stick with the main crew. Like, in all honesty, I wouldn't want to be in the basement by myself. I don't want to be anywhere by myself. I just like, yeah, I want to be with someone at all times. Like, I would do that shit, but I don't want to be left alone.
Yeah, we go all over. We're alone. We all do like our solos is what we call them. Like I did a solo down there in the basement where I got scratched out when I came back, and I think Tyler did his solo in the attic, I believe.
Oh,
So
see,
we
I
all
wouldn't do the basement or the attic alone, but I do the base room and everywhere else alone. The attic and basements I've had bad. Nope.
yeah, it adds, it definitely adds to the fear, the fear factor for sure when you're up in these locations, especially a place where I did get scratched by something that's nothing, and then I went down and sat in that hallway in the pitch dark just with the night vision camera. That's the only light I had was that little display screen.
Chat with the
Oh
zingers.
my god. That coming through was like a gnarly growl.
I love you, Lindsay.
I'm just gonna sit right up in here.
When we came back down here finally, after the scratch incident happened, I was still kind of in this weird in-between state, I guess, in my mind, because honestly, with that incident, it really changed my scope on reality. Coming down here, my main drive was to see if it did come from Ida, or if it did come from Doris, or if it was from something else completely. So when I was in Ida's room, I was trying to sincerely have a one-on-one conversation like she was sitting right next to me.
So last time I was here, for whatever entity that is down here, I did not know how to feel after our last encounter. I'll be 100% honest with you. But now I'd like to thank you for giving me what I asked for. I asked for something that was going to bring more enlightenment and let me know that I was on the right path. And from what happened last time, I now feel as if I am on that right path. So if it wasn't for whatever you did, whether accidental or a symptom or on purpose, whatever that may have been, I thank you for that experience.
Keep dropping stuff because I'm loaded up like a pack animal.
You notice that GoPro screen
Yeah, I
malfunctioning.
was wondering why it was glitching like that.
Yeah, that GoPro shit out on us.
Some movement down the hallway.
Oh, was it the GoPro itself? See, did it continue to do that afterwards as well, or?
Yeah, we didn't use that after that. Because as I was down there filming, I was catching
So
it.
that was
Obviously.
unstable equipment. That wasn't an actual anything other than that.
It's one of those things where it's just tossed up. It could have been paranormal, or it could have just been the camera malfunctioned and died.
Right, got you.
What's here? Go away. Go away. Well, we really don't want to go away. We want to spend as much time with you as we can.
Why do you want us to leave so bad?
Go again. Why don't you set one of those cat balls like right in the hallway?
Okay.
A cat ball is exactly what it sounds like. A cat toy which has been repurposed for paranormal investigation. It lights up when it's moved or vibrated, and cat balls are not affected by EMF or proximity. They have to be physically touched to light up.
So we just set a small little ball in the hallway there. If you have any interest in talking to us, or letting us know you're there. You just have to touch that. If you touch that ball, we'll know that you're here. Or if you want us to leave, just touch the ball and leave.
How many were in here? Can you tell us your name?
It's like it just left.
Bob and I split up, and Austin got to go with Bob, and I got to be alone in the base room. I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
Hello,
See,
Mama.
told you I wouldn't want to be her. Told you.
I just heard a noise. It almost sounded like someone very light sat on the couch behind me. Like something dropped or moved.
All right, you want to maybe cut this off? We can get a little nap sleep.
Let's do it.
Well, we'll be back and we'll try and talk with you again. We're going to leave this right here. If you guys want to open the case, by all means, we'd love to come back and see it wide open. And now this thing here, if you just walk right into that orange there, it will turn on and we will know that you're here and want to speak to us.
Thank you, PayPal person. Glad I could scare you a little bit tonight.
And again, if you want to touch this on the floor here, it'll light up. We'll know that you're here with us and we'd love to talk to you.
Heard moving again behind me.
While Nathan and I were in Ida's room, Brittany noticed a possible light anomaly at the end of the hallway by one of our lanterns. So I decided to go check it out and give Nathan some solo time with Ida. Check if this is a window. Yeah, so there are windows in this room. We'll have to check later to see if lights could have gone through there to illuminate this area. So I'm going to head back down to Nathan and see if he's experiencing anything. I wasn't quite ready to interrupt Nathan's one-on-one with Ida, so I decided to take a detour. But first,
It's just gonna be me and you for a minute, Ida, because here's something else that kind of bothers me. I don't want your legacy to be this broom hanging above us. I understand how somebody can get to that dark place, and I have the utmost empathy and sympathy for you in that situation. And I think, all in all, you was a good person. Now, Ida, was that you? Was you trying to mess with my necklace? This necklace is very precious to me.
My older brother had passed away 4 years prior to pancreatic cancer. Yeah, he was my age at the time, 36 years old. And within this necklace is his remains, some of his ashes in there. So I'm always kind of hyper-focused on where it's at on my neck, because it's one of my fears. I'm gonna break it and lose it, and it'd be gone.
This obviously could not have been ideal living quarters, right? Noticeable cold.
Feels like it got colder in here. When I was alone in the base room, it felt like something was toying with me because it just kept being little, seemingly insignificant things happening that just kept adding up. And it really felt like it was just ramping up the activity for what? I didn't really know. If you come and touch this, it'll let me know you're here. You can talk to this mic over here. It's getting colder.
This is a room where the tour guide said someone got their hair pulled. I think it was some kind of workshop. I really can't think of a better candidate for hair pulling. So if there's anything down here, if you like to pull hair, though I also heard they pinch butts. I'm in the workshop in the basement. All right. Gave you a small chance. I headed back to Nathan.
You're not going to scare me or nothing. Are you able to tell me, was that an accident on what happened last time? Was that just kind of an imprint that happens by accident? You really don't mean to do that? Or was it to let me know without a shadow of a doubt that was my sign?
I already kind of had my answers and didn't know it with the incident, with the scratch itself happening down here. I was trying to hunt down something that the universe had already given me, in my opinion.
Are you a child, maybe? Is that this kind of trickster vibe that I'm feeling?
You told us you want us to leave, but you're not showing us.
Shut a door. Bang on the wall.
To right? Yep. You know, amongst all the chaos that was going on here on the first floor, we did start hearing like a humming type singing, almost like a choir type of sound. And it was interesting because we were actually kind of below where the pulpit is upstairs. And we were wondering if maybe there was some sort of correlation. Maybe they used to hold church services up there. And because that's kind of what it reminded me of, is like a singing of a hymn.
Does it sound like someone going, oh?
It was something. I definitely heard it.
Are you singing to us?
Just a few seconds ago, I got like pins and needles, but in only one particular spot on my left foot.
Just have a seat, I guess, for a second.
That's heard it. Yeah. Okay, that's got to be that.
Are they singing? It keeps sounding like it's coming from like both.
Mm-hmm.
Terror Barn, are you guys currently together or in separate locations?
Right now, we are both in Ida's room, being still, and Nathan's talking. Are you humming or singing?
No humming, just low talking.
Yeah, then there's no way that's them.
No.
Because we're hearing it on both sides.
Yeah, it's weird. Are you trying to hide from us?
I just heard a pop and sounded like something dropped, like being put down on a table out there in the main hallway.
Are you afraid of us? Is that what the problem is? Because I can promise you we're not here to hurt you.
We've heard there's a lot of terrible people here. So if we seem mean to you, we're not trying to be, we're trying to help you. If you can point us in the direction of the mean people, we might be able to help you out. The ball's pretty sensitive. You sure? Are you serious right now? So when Bob first saw the ball light up, I didn't notice it at first. He pointed it out, and I looked down, and it was clearly lit up. And so we go straight to debunking. And to me, this obviously was something that we did at the time. So I didn't record him actually test this out because I was looking down, I was thinking maybe his shoestring hit it, maybe his pant leg hit it. There had to been some sort of explanation. But as he continued to debunk it and even went above and beyond, like jumping on the ground, there was no way in hell that he caused that thing to go off.
Yeah, in all honesty, my first go-to is to look at the type of flooring, and it's not floorboards. Where if it's floorboards, you know, we all know that on the joist they can be rickety in the vibration of a floorboard. But if you look at that flooring, that's like some solid fucking old school tiled floor that's not moving for anything. You know,
Right.
there's no vibration that would do that, basically.
Yeah, my only wish was, you know, obviously Austin was caught up in the moment, you know, and looking, not getting that going, but coming up as one of the is a great piece that they catch coming off of this, and then another leadway at the end of that hallway, like right now behind his legs, at the very end of the hallway, there's a door that opens up, and you go through another little hallway, and that's where the base room is at. So here in a minute, when all this shit starts to pop off, it brings it all together. Not only do they experience it on that end of the hallway, but Brittany feels it and experiences shit coming up
Right.
in the base room.
Yeah.
That's all kind of connected.
Yeah,
It's pretty
there's a
badass.
wild part
And
coming
you'll
up.
often find that, like, that's why it is worthwhile splitting up, because, like, when activity starts, it will happen in multiple areas like that.
Right. Yeah, that place just turns on everywhere. Pretty exciting.
Right. Everybody strap in. Wild part's coming up. Ooh. Strap in and strap on.
Not the strap on.
You definitely weren't that close.
No.
That's weird.
That's really weird. What the fuck was
Dude, it was trying to get in front of us. I think it ran right next to you.
I think so too.
100%.
Wow. Whoa.
Oh man, I have like.
That was some heavy footing as well. That wasn't some light-footed fucking pussy ass shit.
Right.
To be fair,
Yeah.
that was
And
like
then
a
the
fucking stamp run. Like,
right towards
heavy
the direction
footing.
where they just heard that bang, which is right next to the base room. So it ran towards like to me it sounded like the foot pattern was running down the hall towards where the base is at. Then they heard a bang, almost like that door at the end of there. So that's why we was so like hyper focused. Like, man, somebody in this damn place running around. But no, we tried to debunk it, and even Tyler, who I assure you, goes through a lot of work trying to debunk it. He even had to throw
Yeah,
his
as
hands
you
up
would.
of like, damn, I don't, yeah, that
Can
happened.
we rewind that again, Raven? Can we hear that
gonna
again?
ask.
I want to hear that. I want to go back to that again. Because that was really heavy. I mean,
Yeah.
like normally, like even like above you, like footing can sound loud, right? Like you've had that, like the floor above you, it sounds louder than it is sometimes because it echoes through, it resonates differently. But right next to you like that, that was loud as fuck.
Yeah, it was a
All
good
right,
cat
let's watch.
for sure.
Let's watch it again. Oh, I hate that part. I've had experiences like that, and yeah.
That's weird.
That's really weird. What the fuck was
Dude, it was trying to get in front of us. I think it ran right next to you.
I think so too.
100%.
Oh have like what is going on?
Are you messing with us?
What the fuck is happening right now?
That was one of the most undeniable things that I've experienced in a long time. It was plain as day that someone ran right in between us and ran down the hall into what I thought was onto the first stair down the hallway.
So I'm currently editing all the footage from Randolph County, and I've seen the footage and heard the audio from the footsteps more than anyone. I've shown it to everyone I know, whether they want to see it or not, just to confirm that it is undeniably the sound of shoes hitting floor. And that's
I was going to say that. Pause this a
I also
second.
know
I was going to say that it was undeniable, especially with that type of flooring, you know, because I was already with that cat ball lighting up. I was like, oh, look at that. That's some real, like, sturdy old-fashioned tile in there, right? And you could hear, definitely, with like, not only was it heavy footing, but you could almost imagine, like, in terms of the audio, you could hear, like, the sole of the shoe slap.
It matches the acoustics.
There was
for sure.
a definitive sound that we all know was like a sole of a shoe on a certain surface, and you could hear.
Yep.
Yep, 100%. The acoustics fit for sure.
from editing the footage that all of the investigators were accounted for. I have the timestamps to prove it. Only Bob and Austin were in that hallway. None of us were near that hallway. So the only explanation that there would be is that somebody else was in the hallway, somebody was in the building, but we had a surveillance system set up and we were crawling all over the building. And it's just hard for me to believe that we would not have encountered someone. And we also all know how noisy it is just to move around, let alone to move around quickly. We hear each other constantly while we're investigating. So though I wasn't there to experience it, it's by far the best evidence that has come out of an investigation which I was a part of. I have no explanation for it.
Not only was that the clearest piece of paranormal evidence that I've heard in at least a very long time, if not ever, it sounded like a continuation down to what I was experiencing in the base room. Because right after they heard the footsteps run down the hall and then up the stairs, I was hearing knocks and bangs outside the door in the lobby, which was a continuation from the hall that they were in. Another knocking, moving. EMF still at a 1. When it comes to my time that I spent in the base room, I definitely feel like the noises were not just an old house, an old building. There was knocking, there was tapping on the window at some point. It sounded like someone very light sat on the couch behind me. That's not a couch settling. That's something. And then the zipper. That scared me. A little bit.
That would freak me out.
Yeah, it was
Sound like metal clanking in the room.
It sounded like a latch. It sounded like, you know, like I don't know if there was a metal latch in the door frame, you know,
or like a latch on a
clicking of the
truck.
latch almost, like a, like, you know, like you can hear the internal mechanism of it.
What on my big equipment bag, like my bigger camera bag where I put all sorts of shit in there, but it has like one of those mountain climber clips on the zipper. And when we went in there, that's the only thing we could come close to almost recreating that sound is by flipping that heavy thing up.
Like a mechanism, like a locking, like a clunk clunk sound. You know what I mean? Like almost mechanical.
Yeah, you can tell it gets her good. Everything's nice and quiet down there. She hears a knock, and then
Because it didn't sound like a drop-in or a throw-in. It sounded like, like a two-parted mechanism move, almost like a clunk. So it could be an unlatching of what you said, Skeet, or, like I said, the actual mechanism in the door lock.
Right, and that door right there is at the end of the hallway. So, I mean, if that entity ran down, we heard the footsteps, and you heard the bang down there, the next step would be unlatching that door and coming in.
Yeah, that would be the only other thing that I would think of.
The shit out of me. I was not expecting it. I was focusing completely on the cameras in front of me, and I have no idea what did that.
Like a zipper being like flipped.
I'm curious. I'm gonna walk by this, just like I just did, just so I know.
Thank you.
Not going off, and not going off.
I think something ran
right next to us,
like directly in front of us there.
Yeah, it goes down there and bangs on something,
and then comes back this way. I mean, that's about as trickster as it gets.
Yeah. One of the hardest parts, especially, like I said, when you leave with evidence, is trying to dissect it. And it gets really tough with me when you get interactions with supposed entities and you don't know what it is that they want. You don't know if they're asking for help, if they're trapped here, if they're messing with you. And that's something that really messes with the psyche of myself and I believe other paranormal investigators. I'm not sure if this entity was trying to play with us, trying to show us something, trying to lead us in a direction, but honestly, this is one of the things that we just leave and we scratch our head. What was the point of this?
Unbeknownst to Austin and me at the time, the first floor women's hallway, where we're currently located, was also home to a boy named Noah. In 1943, Noah would meet the same tragic fate as thousands of other children of that time, dying from measles at just 8 years old. Today, his room is filled with toys and drawings left by visitors and investigators attempting contact. This information may shed new light on the unpredictable activity Austin and I are currently experiencing.
That was incredible.
That was something.
I don't think I've
I
ever
don't know what it was, but it was something.
I don't think I've ever had anything quite like that happen before.
Oh man.
I mean, like, it doesn't get much more precise in person.
Right. Fucking nuts.
What?
If you thought the basement was bad.
Weird. We're a little weird in here too.
Yep. What'd you get?
It sounded like a zipper, like being toyed with.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Did you tell the camera?
Yes.
Yeah.
This zipper right here.
And he told me.
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
Yeah.
I was literally pointing over there. You could see me doing this with the EMF reader. Okay, well, let me ask you this. Did it sound like someone sitting on the couch behind you?
I had heard a noise from this couch over here, but nothing directly behind me, no.
It moved. Like, it sounded like it was
It's funny as fuck because I literally pulled him aside and
It
told him
scared the
that.
shit out of me because I literally said that scared me because I was sitting here focusing so intently. All of a sudden, I hear a little ding. I'm like,
Yes,
the
that's
fuck?
the same fucking sound. Yes.
Yeah, literally, we were sitting. He pulled me aside in the kitchen and told me the exact same thing. Like,
That's
2
fucking
weeks ago.
hysterical.
Yeah, little ding.
Yep. The one part that I'm really glad, and this comes with, if you have experience in the paranormal field, taking a third party, in my case, Bob, and letting him know this is what I experienced because I knew Brittany was going in there next. So I told him all my claims. And when we came back and she had the same claims, I mean, that was just phenomenal.
The fact that we had the same experiences, heard the same noises, all the way down to a very specific metallic zipper flip is insane.
I like this place a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. This might be one of my favorite places to investigate.
This is pretty cool.
Excuse me. Excuse me. We left the store open. We just walked through here to eat pizza.
No.
We just walked through here to eat pizza. You opened the store. I was just in there to eat pizza. Bob and I were in the kitchen and we saw Austin wave us down while he was outside. And when we get out there, Austin said he thought he saw someone walking across the field.
When I was outside, I clearly saw what I thought was a man walking down the street
Oh, hell no.
towards me. I really didn't think much of it until I realized it's like 2 or 3 in the morning. And that's when I started thinking in my head, like, this isn't good.
Pause
I
this a
knew
sec.
it was a person. There was no.
For some reason, I find it scarier, the thought of one wandering outside than inside, because it feels like, oh, inside, it's like, fuck, this is too much. Let me run out, right? Into the, like, but if they're outside, you're like, where do I go now?
Right.
I'd be more scared of the human than a ghost.
Yeah,
Or
for
if
sure.
it is a human, that's the thing. What if it's not, right? And I'm saying, where do you go then? You're fucked. Inside, outside, they're everywhere.
Well, so forth, with all the activity like that we've caught in there, and that's something we're going to add to it too. Or we want to get surveillance up on outside of the building to make sure, we don't know. The people that own the place might be sending people in to fuck with us. We don't know, but we want to cover that. But also the rituals and things we got planned is like taking this piece and cranking it up. We got all this activity without really
I think it's
provoking
pretty
or conjuring.
definitive. Like, as much as even if that were the case of like sending people in to fuck with you or whatnot, those footsteps right next to that were filmed, and like we can all clearly hear and see that was nothing fucking right. So
yeah, that's what we're going back for, is just to kind of lay to rest all of our what ifs, and really cover our ass there. But also people being there, we're on an old country road.
I wanted to know if you knew more about, so they talk about this Noah, the kid Noah that was 8 years old, born in the 1940s or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And he was one of many kids. Why is it that he has been remembered then, if he's one of many that died of measles, that this Noah is so renowned and he's got his own rooms saved, and do you know what I mean? Like a shrine to Noah. If so
well,
many
he was
kids
the only one that died there. Like that time period is when, a lot of kids was passing. And yeah, he's the only one that died in that building.
Is that the only history that you got on him, or do you got any more information on that?
No, that's really it on Noah. Was passed there on the grounds of measles.
Yep, and Steph, there were no trainers in 1943. Like gym shoes for my Americans, running shoes.
Right. They had the old wooden shoes, I think.
Yeah, so
back then,
you
the
really
wooden
hear
soles and shit.
those. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like those shoes were even like louder,
Raven, you've got an offer there you can't refuse on screen.
Yeah, I timed him out. Thanks. That's the second time they've come in and like have your fun. But I think you need a little time out.
Is it next? Is he like, oh,
no.
I got to shave my head. I can't be bothered if you do this.
I don't know, but like, have your fun, dude. But calm down. You can come back in 5 minutes. Just drink some water and eat a sandwich, okay? It's fine.
He needs bribing to open up the store as well.
Oh, Kayla, put Kayla's comment up. It's probably Clara walking through the forest in her pilgrim hat.
Oh my God, Kayla. Yeah, well, in that case, I'd stay like where Brittany is. Just fuck it. Just stay in there then with the ghost. If Clara's outside, take your chances. Stay inside.
Clara monster out there walking around. Good.
Yeah.
It's like two Kayla. Kayla's OG, y'all.
Also known as the Dust Walker.
Oh,
the Dust.
Oh, is she gonna be like Pigpen from Peanuts? Everywhere she goes, she's got that little dust cloud around her. Makes her easily identifiable.
Yeah,
she'll never go missing. It's great.
Dust Walker, Captain Thunderpuss.
The dusty clunge. Take the plunge. That was for you, Steph. I know Steph loves that word.
Steph loves a bit of clunge.
Yeah.
And that's why I said the Captain Thunderpuss thing. She loves the Captain Thunderpuss name that I gave him. Like
the Captain Thunderpuss clunge.
What about if we? What if we had Captain Thunderclunge?
Yeah. Steph's like, fuck you guys. That's the scariest part of the whole evening. No, I'm joking. Oh my god. All right, we've got what, like 6 minutes left. All right. Okay, and then we can really talk. I'm down for talking shit and asking questions, BB. Don't ruin it.
Doubt it was a solid person. He just kept walking, and he got to where the little shed is out there, and I lost sight of him, and that's when I called Brittany and Bob outside.
And we were looking. We were trying to make sure no one was trying to break in or do anything nefarious. We come back inside. I will go back into the kitchen, and the basement door was open.
Once we came back in, we saw that door open. My stomach dropped. I knew for a fact that this person somehow snuck around and got inside, and that was everyone's fear at that point.
I know it was closed because in order to leave the kitchen out of the way we did, the door would be blocking the entrance if it was open before we left.
The most scary thing isn't the paranormal, it's humans coming in. And it's a crazy thought, but people are scarier than the monsters and things that we go out and we try to chase.
Unsure about who or actually what opened the basement door, Tyler, Nathan, and I decided it's a good idea to thoroughly search the basement for an actual flesh and blood intruder while Brittany and Austin monitor the surveillance cameras upstairs. Satisfied the basement is clear, we then rewind all the surveillance video to see if anyone entered the building.
And we couldn't find any evidence of anyone around. It was very weird, to say the least.
That's the shitty thing about doing stuff like this. You have to pull yourself out of immersion.
Exactly.
And make sure it's not a person.
Yep.
I wouldn't surprise me if you walk through that damn door and there's somebody just a spirit chilling in this place and just have a full on conversation. This place has changed my whole scope.
We end the night in the attic. There are rumors of every type of abuse having taken place up here, in secret, hidden away from the rooms below.
Oh no, not in the
However,
attic.
no record or document has ever been produced to verify any of these claims. This is likely intentional and has inspired the maxim, what happens in the attic stays in the attic. Hoping to gain insight on this and all of the mysteries of Randolph County Infirmary, we employ a technique called the Estes method, named after Estes Park, Colorado, where it was developed at the infamous Stanley Hotel. We start with Nathan as the quote-unquote conduit. He wears a blindfold and isolation headphones, through which only he can hear the spirit box. He will focus solely on vocalizing any intelligible words that comes through. This way, investigators on the outside can concentrate on asking questions. Because Nathan can neither hear nor see the other investigators, his responses cannot be influenced by them.
Do you remember what happened to Nathan last time he was here?
Ouch.
Do you know who did that?
Who knew? Maybe.
Do you think it's fun if people do that? Or have those things happen to them?
Worth it.
I already kind of had my answers and didn't know it with the incident, with the scratch itself happening down here.
Do you have a message?
It's hard. It almost like it was underneath the static. Said it happened.
If you still want to communicate with us, we need you to give us what we call a number. And if you don't, then we're going to pull Nathan out. And I'll give you 10 seconds.
With some numbers than truth. I think it was 346 or something.
Even if the things were on, the volume that I'm talking, I doubt he could hear me.
You can't hear me.
With those headphones on, even if
I didn't get to see this footage till after the film was finished.
After Nathan's session, we decided to try a couple of firsts. Austin will go under for his first ever Estes Method experience, and at the same time, Nathan will stay under for our first double Estes Method experiment. The hope is that Austin and Nathan will communicate with each other, but things quickly moved in a different direction altogether.
Can you say something to Austin?
Leave.
Do you want us to leave?
Goodbye.
Why do you want us to leave?
It would be easier.
I was noticing when we put Nathan and Austin under at the same time that we were hearing Nathan speak more. So I pointed my finger at Austin to kind of highlight and put a spotlight on him. And as I pointed my finger at him before I could say anything,
Thought it just said my name.
I was gonna say this one we call Austin.
Something.
That's what I was gonna say. This one we call Austin, so that it could get a better idea of who he is. You can't prove that though; it's useless. But I have chills all over my body.
there's really no words for it because it was just something that I couldn't believe happened. Could it be a coincidence? Yes. It could have been a coincidence, but that's the thing about the S's method is every once in a while you have those things that you have to believe they're synchronicities. They're too weird.
That was pretty crazy. And the craziest part about it is, like I said, you know, one word responses I'm not a big fan of, but when it said my name, it said Austin. And it gave it enough time to span multiple stations, multiple frequencies, and it kept the same voice. It was almost like it knew exactly what I wanted and exactly, you know, something that would make me say, hey, I heard this.
What is your name?
Damn.
Is there anything you want to tell us besides for us to leave?
I'm bad. Grim Reaper.
This was my first time investigating with Austin, and when we started the S's method, I could tell that he was skeptical of the whole process, which I, of all people, can understand. So I was surprised when he went under and he seemed to be so affected and seemed to be having such clear answers, but also answers with such a consistent theme.
Austin has said nothing but dark.
Very dark things. Fuck. Okay. We're gonna pull them out.
Why?
During the Estes method that Austin was having, towards the end, I got very concerned. His entire body language was changing. He was shivering, he was shaking, it seemed like he couldn't control himself. And I hadn't really seen that before, especially with the things that were coming out. And it was talking about darkness, it was talking about being empty and telling us to leave. And I thought it'd be better safe than sorry to stop it, say goodbye, and then continue on if we said we needed to.
Do you want us to leave, or do you want to leave? Do you want to be gone?
Well,
Say goodbye.
That was something.
Say goodbye. Say goodbye.
What the hell?
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Something
Goodbye.
keeps touching me.
Hey, it's me. It's me. It's Brittany. Hey.
What's up?
Pull out.
The fuck?
Touching you where?
Everywhere. Like right before that, it touched me down here, but it was like it wasn't like it was almost like energy, if that makes sense. Like it felt like
I thought you were crying for a second. You
No.
were shaking so bad.
dude, I was cold. Like, you know how when you like something goes to sleep and you like wake up
Pins and
has like that
needles.
pins and needles feeling?
Yeah.
That's what it was, but it was just single times. And it was just like it was here, and then here on my hand, and then you got me.
The sensation that Austin is describing is similar to the one that Brittany experienced in the base room earlier in the night.
Just a few seconds ago, I got like pins and needles, but in only one particular spot on my left foot.
Even down to the location of the sensation on the left leg or foot.
Yeah, and she also mentioned that, Brittany mentioned that when she was talking about when she got it of the hand, like pins and needles, like kind of feeling before.
Right.
As well.
Almost like she was like experiencing what everybody else was going to experience later on type shit. Like she was foretelling. That's what I took.
It's actually interesting. I'm going to read you something at the end of this because I just looked up as well. So, you know, when I said to you before, Skeet, with your energy and like it being like filled with white light and like, so therefore it's almost like protective energy. So it's funny that when they asked for a number, right? And at first you stated some numbers, and then you said a word and whatnot, and then you clarified what the numbers were, 346, right?
Right.
So I looked it up, and it's funny because it is an actual protective thing. It's a guardian angel. It's a signifier of that. So the fact is that you didn't experience what Austin was experiencing was probably because of that reason, that you was sent a guardianship in that sense.
Yeah, it was when Tyler was editing the Estes method, like he just told me, like, no, dude, I don't want to spoil it for you. Like, because when you're under there, it's almost like you're meditating. I mean, you can't see anything.
I'll read out to you at the end what 346 means.
Okay. Yeah. So you're underneath there, you got those soundproof headphones. The only thing you hear is the spirit box. You cannot hear anything else other than that just in your head, and you're almost like in a meditative, and you feel like you're just shouting shit out that don't matter. Like none of this is going to fit. And then why Tyler was editing all the footage, he's like, no, man, you gotta, when we show you this Estes method, it's by far you hit on a lot of shit. And then we all got together, the cast did, for the watch party before we released it. And that's the first time I got to see what the hell he was talking about. He kept it a secret all that damn time.
Oh, wow.
And then you got me. There was a breeze on my back of my neck, and then it went to like the front, and then it would disappear and be gone for a little while, and then it would come back, and then it would disappear, and then it would come back. But it was like a circulating type of thing. Like it was in like an area, if that makes sense, but it was kind of like rotating.
I mean, the fact that they were answering back to back to back cognitive, intelligent answers is a very uncommon thing. Most of it's radio bleed through. Most of it's just a jumbled up mess. This was a conversation. This was something that is a very rare experience.
There's something strange going on at Randolph. I don't think there's any denying that at this point. I can't say for sure what it is. It seems like there might be something intelligent. There might be something residual. It's just a mix of all kinds of different things that seem to be happening here at Randolph.
Coming into Randolph, I had the idea that everything we went through or were going to experience was going to come from a place of history, of Ida, of Doris, of Noah, of all the people that came through here. I thought this place was stuck in history, but I'm not convinced of that anymore.
Before this investigation, I had spent 2 other nights at Randolph. And for all that time, I've had 0 experiences. But now I've observed physical manifestations on Nathan's neck and audible manifestations through footsteps, singing, all the other knocks and bangs that fellow investigators have experienced. So I guess this place has kind of made me wonder, this phenomenon that we call ghosts or hauntings, is it really location specific, or could it be also, or even more so, person specific?
Months after the investigation, while shooting interviews for this documentary, a couple of the investigators experienced eerie interruptions, and it only got stranger from there.
And for me not to have a say on that.
Did you hear something? What did it sound like?
I don't even know. It sounded like a...
Well, to add to the weirdness, you guys can see the goosebumps, correct?
Did someone move their arm or hand back here just now?
Did you hear it too?
Ninja goes dead, the Zoom goes dead as we're talking about the incident that I'm telling you has changed my life forever.
Did you hear?
Did you say the Zoom died?
It's just about dead.
Just replace those batteries. I tested those batteries on the tester.
Dude, I'm getting lit up.
Yeah, those last for hours.
I've never seen my arms or my hair, like the hairs on my arms start to rise slowly like that.
ever. I started feeling like a little bit of I don't want to say like emotional, like I don't feel like I'm gonna cry, but I felt like a really real feeling. Yes.
Okay.
So that I'm not sure of. I don't know.
What's up, Austin?
2 random questions. Question number 1. Where was that bear at last?
I put the bear on the glass table in the living room.
Okay, it's in the chair. Question number 2, why is my trunk open?
The bear's in the chair?
The bear's in the chair and my fucking car trunk's open.
Oh, no.
Do your keys open your car trunk if you sit on them or something?
If I sit on them, I'm not. That's literally never happened to me before.
Where are your keys?
In my pocket.
So why is the bear in the chair?
These are all good questions.
So this is my question. Should we go up there or should we just continue doing this? Because I don't know what's up with the bear.
Well, I feel like maybe this is what's energizing what's happening elsewhere.
We got enough manpower where we send 2-man group up here. I mean, you continue what we're doing. They document what's going on up there. Typical Randolph County. We're sitting here, nothing's going on. We've been here doing interviews. It's the second day doing interviews, nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden they'll flip on where these things start popping off. I'm willing to bet the same energy that did this to me is the same energy that ran past you guys. The same energy is messing with Brittany and Base and doing this now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's continue.
Welcome to Randolph.
I love Austin's photos that he got.
Those are some great shots again.
Yeah, them are all on film camera that
Yeah, he did great. Really good lighting on those as well, Steve.
there was the family.
Wow. That was epic. Seriously. Fucking epic, Skeet.
Thank you
Seriously.
guys.
Amazing.
Well, if you guys like that one, it definitely. The second one, it's going to be this amped up to 100. We're this time, through this piece was kind of experiencing, and we spent. I don't know. I mean, you could tell from the weight loss change for me. You know how long we spent going back to this place. I lost like 75 pounds through all this. Not really, like 55, I think, but we spent most of the time just kind of experience just being on the property and getting familiar with it and its energy and not really ruffling any feathers. On the 27th, we go back in. Thanks for sharing those links out against it. We're going to try to provoke in and really try to conjure and bring out and turn that place on its head. Appreciate that, guys. Ooh, deja vu.
Now, okay, we've got questions. So, do you think there are good and bad spirits? Do you think they try to attach people or locations? Are you nervous about your part of the ghost hunting process?
Yes, I do think there's good and bad, just like there is in this realm. We got good, we got bad, and it yin and yang, right? You got to balance everything out. There got to be an equal force on each side. to kind of balance that out. And yes, I do believe you can have attachments and
Yeah, and
bring
there's a
that back to
difference
you for
between
sure.
an entity and a ghost, let's say, Kayla. So, like, in terms of so everyone knows about poltergeists, right? So, poltergeists aren't actually human energy, right? So, there's the difference. And a lot of malevolent forces aren't actually human. So, you will there are mischievous ghosts and like bad ghosts obviously as well, on top of like good ones or whatnot, but like in terms of energies, there's more than just like these realms, I guess, if you want to say it like that, because yeah, it's fair to
A
say
lot
that
of the
are known to be from other realms.
Yeah, a lot of the really bad entities, like demons and stuff, those are just straight interdimensional.
Right, that's what I mean by other realms.
Right, for sure. And how would you go about getting rid of them? I think that is situation specific. I mean, you definitely can cleanse within yourself and smudge and things and get things away from you that way. But if it's attached to an object or
And
attached to
there's also
you,
other
or
protective spells and rituals that you can do, which I might even go over with Skeet, especially if he's going to go back and antagonize. So we might do some of that as well.
I got my
I
ritual
think
I
me and
do.
Skeet might have to do a personal one-to-one of a protection spell here.
Oh, I do. My ritual I go through, it starts 48 hours before I get to the property. I'll fast. Only thing I put in my body is water. Meditating my ass off, protection prayers within my meditation. Like I gear up, like mentally and physically before I even come close to. Once I feel confident, I'm not about to, you know, be Linda Blair. I go in and then I'm ready. I'm ready to poke and prod
That
and
leads us
provoke.
on to, actually, in terms of protective energy. So what happened with like with Austin and what we was talking about in terms of when you was under, and he said, give us a number, you got 10 seconds or we're pulling Nathan out, right? And you recounted 346 as the number. So I pulled up the meaning of that, and like I said, it's a protected thing. So I'll just tell you, I'll give you the brief version because it's quite long. So let me just scroll down to the bit where it's 346. The angelic message behind number 346 points towards full-fledged assistance from heavenly realms. The ascended masters or guardian angels send you this number to support you at your journey at this time. This powerful number is meant to strengthen either your self-esteem or just your strength in general when you need it the most. And it helps you be at peace and with your inner self at the same time and be reflective. So, yeah, it was interesting that was the number that was thrown to you, you know?
That definitely fits for sure. Like
Right?
it's, I didn't
And
know
you know
that. I
what I've
didn't.
always said about you, and I've always said about your energy being pure white light, like you're surrounded by. I've always said that to you. And it's like, yeah, it makes sense to me, and that you are, in some sense, protected. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Already.
That was that Estes that whole session was probably. I mean, that whole fucking place. Let's be real. Like was like Bob said. I mean, it's like one of my favorite places, and that's why we're going back and why we're trying to do it even better. I mean, that was really our first time investigating with this crew and going back in again and really trying to crank it up and taking the knowledge and everything that we've gained since being there, both technically and within the paranormal field, that we're looking forward to like really implementing a lot of Tyler's protocols and things that we want to test out.
Yeah. No, and it's good to try out different methods and different rituals and see cause and effect, right? And as long as you're doing all the protection things and the crew do the same as well. But yeah.
Right, for sure. Yeah, I definitely, I have to, you know what I mean? Because I feel like.
Well, I may give you a little something anyway, and you can pass it on to the crew if need be, and they can all have, a protection.
Right. I mean, that's something that I kind of got like a visual in my head too of getting that ritual before we go into the property. Putting kind of praying over the protection and everything before the whole crew even goes in. Intro scene, diving into the madness. Did I mute? Did it kick me?
Sorry, I was just reading it.
Oh
So
no, I thought
Callum
my mic
says, my
kicked
mother
in.
always instructed me to go to the calm or welcoming ghost spirits and instruct them to inhabit a new baby body by going to the local hospital. I found it successful.
See, like to me, again, like I can have my own opinions and ideologies and things of what I think is happening, but again, it's just an educated guess. You know what I mean? There's nothing, to me, anyways. There's nothing really concrete. That's why it's called the paranormal. And I believe the universe even works like that to a certain degree, as far as making it personal for you. Like Austin said in the film, he got that EVP when he was under an SS method that made him believe in it and believe it and report it. Like, hey, I heard this. I think it works that way. Like I got the scratches because I asked the universe for it. I opened myself up for it, and it showed me.
Yeah, you
And
will find that, like, if you asked, you will be given, like, something definitive.
right, it goes back to that saying, "Be careful what you ask for."
Exactly.
Just might
That's
give
it.
it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I've told people that even because of that reason. Like, be careful what door you open, especially if you're not that well informed. You know what I mean?
Right. And then I go back to my firm beliefs. Like the best piece of paranormal equipment is your brain, is manifesting and trying to communicate beyond the veil and getting in that and just being in the moment and being there 100% at that location and trying to, and yeah, I think manifesting and
Yeah, and I
yourself
think
is the
that's why
biggest
that's
paranormal
important.
equipment.
Like, even in that technique, and when you cut off other senses, like your other senses do heighten, and you tap into your subconscious a little bit more, when you with the blindfold on and things of that ilk.
Oh yeah,
It kind of helps.
that sensory deprivation
Mm-hmm.
and then you're taking what I love about the SS method, other than everything I've already stated, but is it takes out having to ask the questions and interpret the response. You don't got to interpret it. You already got somebody in there that can't hear, can't see. That's the only thing they're hearing is that, and them spewing that out. So just being able to have a conversation that lines up
That's
is
right. It's like they're almost it uses a conduit, if you know what I mean by
right.
that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're being a conduit, and even when I go underneath, I open myself up, all my energy, use it. Like give us, like this is a chance to really film and be in a true interaction to whatever that is and whatever we got going on here. Like I just offer my energy up and try to really get in that. It's almost like I said, it's like meditative for me. Like
Yeah, it
I
is.
could stay underneath there
It
for
very
like
much
hours.
is. And if anybody's ever, I dabbled, I dare say the word dabbled now in this fucking community.
Right. You say dabbled and the scene
Yeah,
did take place in
exactly.
an
I know
attic.
what's
So
coming. It's like a dangerous move. It's like tempting them all in the chat. I know she said dabbled. But yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to going back there, and I so want to. I don't know. I'll have to start up an OnlyFans or something if I got to. But I want to get that equipment, have you guys live stream to see what you guys catch as we are going around and doing the different things. Because it's like I said, this one is kind of like, I guess you can look at it as this was our walking piece, and the next time we go in there, we're going to be running. Like we're going to crank this shit up,
Yeah.
provoke, conjure, and just see, because this is the only place that we went with this much activity, which warranted. That's why Phantom Farm's even a thing right now, because it was so interesting and shit was going crazy for us.
See,
What happens when we go in there
mean,
and
if you
try
can
to?
sell yourself, Skeet, I really think the route to go. I mean, as much as you're beloved, right? I'm not sure if your wife will like it if you do an OnlyFans. So,
Yes, you
under that
probably do.
premise alone, I think, right? One thing I know that's really fucking popular is your upstairs. And I think we should rate
I
everyone
owe
in
stuff on.
saying, no, I think it should be the goal. I think people need to donate to get another episode.
Oh, I see. Well, we're
Give them what they want, right? Give the crowd what they want. But it's supply and demand. And it's like, to support your other projects, all this stuff. Skeet does need
I'm gonna say
help
feet.
with all of that. And if you want to see more fucking upstairs, get paying, you lot. That's
At
what
least
I'm
I get those
saying.
foot pics going.
We need to do something with that leading into the whole filming of the second part, you know. We could come up
Yes.
with something.
We're going back in a little over a week. We plan on heading back there.
Okay.
And I'm just really excited to share some of these protocols and things that Tyler and I has been spitballing and talking about and planning for more years than I would like to admit. But this is going to be the first time that we apply them in the field in real time and try to use them to kind of put a beacon up in the air, try to draw in as much as we can.
Have you ever done an outside paranormal investigation?
Paranormal and the aspects.
Like a
Dr.
particular
Stephen
area, like a
Greer
woods or a
has.
graveyard that's renowned to be like, you know.
Oh yeah, we've hit plenty of graveyards and things. Tyler did a shit ton of that because, like, with me, the paranormal has almost been in my family. It's like an uncle or something. You know what I mean? We really didn't dive in and investigate. We just communicate, and we got the knocks and things like that. With Tyler, he's been doing this type of shit since he was a teenager, like going to graveyards and doing things. And he's done we've
Yeah,
been
it's
in
funny you
a
should say
shit
that,
ton of
because I
graveyards.
took my kiddo when he was about 14. He wanted to do that. He wanted to do the ghost box thing and go to a graveyard. So I was like, all right, then let's go. Like in the middle of the night, we did this shit, you know. And it was fun. It was like, so we did a few more of those, and we didn't get anything. Like I think the first half a dozen times, and I think it was like about the 8th time or something. And then we got a ton of shit that time. And it was a totally different graveyard that we went to, and it was a different result altogether. Then because the first several times that we'd gone to this other one, and for some reason that was just all it was. Like the activity in this other place was just crazy.
Yeah, it can be wild. We had I just got rid of it. I had the SB11 spirit box, which is basically the one you've seen there is the SB7. The SB11 is the newer model. It kind of has a dual where you can scan two different
It's
sets
different
of radio
frequencies. That's
stations.
the one that we got as well, so you can tune in all different ones and frequencies. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and then the SB7, they got a newer model out, and I believe Tyler just swooped that one up for us when we go back. But the SB7, I think, is the better one for being like run and gun. The SB11 is kind of bigger and bulkier, and the SB7 is like more palm sized, and hook an external speaker up to it and things. Yeah,
So
spirit
Steph
boxes
wants
are
to know.
interesting.
You do it. You do
What
it.
we doing?
We're about turning into
a
it.
little comment tango.
Fucking beds.
That was great. What date? What date will that be, Skeeter? Will you be live streaming it? And if so, what channel?
Yes, if I'm able to get the pocket cam that I'm trying to swoop up before then, we're going back on the 27th. So it would be that night on the 27th, and that would be live streamed either on the Skeeter channel or the Terra Barn one. I haven't decided which one. I probably would just throw it up on this one since it's the one everybody's kind of getting familiar with, me being around and shit.
I don't know.
I'll probably just throw it on that a little bit
I
later.
think you should live
What,
stream
mine?
it. I think you should live stream it on the Terror Barn and
Right.
get that
Either where I go,
going again. And then what you should do is then throw it up onto the Skeeter one for anyone that didn't catch it.
oh, there you go. Yeah. Then, yeah, that's a good layout. Yeah, I'll probably just live stream on the Terror Barn and repost it on my other channels.
Basically, Skeeter will do as I say.
Right. That makes sense now that you say it that way. Stream on that one, then re-upload it over here. It's like, yeah, that fits.
Skeeter, what do you think about psychics?
Ooh, I think there are really good ones out there. Then I think there's ones that are just trying to pull a con. You got to be kind of be cautious and listen to your gut. I believe. I think that's the best moral compass is your gut. If your gut's telling you this person's just trying to get one over on you, then be very cautious. Like Whitty and Lori was talking about earlier. I've had those experiences.
Generic terms as well, so that you got to apply that. So when people are telling you certain things, there's big scoops of genericness. That, like, if you pick up the newspaper horoscope, in terms of the difference of actually getting your
Those very vague
astrological chart done properly, there's a huge difference, right? And it's the same with psychics. You can tell pretty much in terms of like how much general information that they give you and how much it could be applied to pretty much anyone to specifics. And when they start coming up with real fucking specifics, that's when you can go, yeah, maybe there's something to this.
I got it, Steph. Thank you. Yeah. Steph instantly said, "Oh shit, it's for the upstairs commercial fucking parody." I got you, Skeet.
And as a psychic myself, I can say I personally I never charge people because most times when people want a reading, they're not in a good place in their life or there's something going on with them. And again, they're always like, "What do you want to know?" And I'm like, "Nothing. I want to know. Don't tell me shit." And you'll be able to pick up. Trust your gut, like Skeeter said. Trust your gut with that, because there's a lot that they're good showmen and they're just throwing out bullshit.
Look for nuance. Basically, you got to look for that nuance and specifics.
If it's somebody who's legit, they're going to care about you and what they're saying. And I go into any of my readings saying, look, if I don't get, I might not get anything. If I don't, we'll try again. I'm not going to sit here and just pull some shit out of my ass to like just fucking say something. I've had times where I've gotten nothing and I'm like, okay, let's try again next week. And then shit will come in. So a legit psychic, a good psychic is going to have integrity,
Right. Yeah. And I definitely believe there is psychics because me, myself personally, I've only did it for 3 people ever, or maybe 4. Anyways, I opened myself up and I just tried to really submerge myself in energy and be a part of what they're asking me. I mean, we used to be a live stream floating around where I did it on a live once. I'm not claiming to be a psychic by no means at all, but I think as humans, all of us got a little bit of that. If you just feed the beast, so to speak, or lean into it and accept it.
In terms of like instincts, right? Because in terms of like energy, and you act accordingly, quite like I do. Like you're genuine, you're very truthful. You know what I mean, and try to be down to earth for the most part. And when you keep yourself on the straight and narrow, so to speak, and conduct yourself with some sort of integrity, it's like you're open to most things, and it's like you don't close those doors down. And I think if you you act on your gut instincts most of the time and people's energy, like I do, and you surround yourself with like-minded individuals or people that have got similar energy that you can work with, you can tell a good individual from a bad one. You know what I mean? You've got good instincts like that as well. So I think to some part, good instincts are the doorway to psychic ability. And if anybody can hone those, you just got to tune into it more and more.
Yeah, absolutely. You can lean into it.
You gotta trust yourself and realize we've been lied to and brainwashed and told that that's not real. And if you think so, it's crazy. No, that's our natural state of being. We all have these abilities because that's our natural state of being. We've just been told that's not the case.
Right. And we second guess ourselves too much rather than
Trust
actually
yourself.
tuning into our instincts, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust yourself. Trust that gut
I
feeling.
agree.
How many times have you heard a mother be like, I knew my child was grown with their own kids across town and I knew they needed me, or you knew somebody passed, or you're like, you're going down a street and all of a sudden you just got a feeling I should make a right turn. And then an accident happens where you should have been. Like, those aren't happenstance.
And not just on a grand scale, but even on a small scale. You're right, Raven, because even in terms of like, we can all of us agree that we've all had situations where we've had a gut instinct and gone against it, not listened to it, whether it be a situation, a person, whatever it is. And something inside you always fucking knew that you shouldn't have. And when it turns out that it bites you in the ass, you're like, fuck, why didn't I? Why didn't I listen to that little like seed of fucking doubt in me? I should have.
Yeah.
And we've all had that. Yeah, right. Hindsight is 20/20, whatever. But that
The
tells
attic.
you that your instincts were correct. And that tells you that in future you should start listening to your own fucking shit.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As
Don't
far
don't logic your intuition away. That's all.
Exactly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard to also like not also in terms of if you're a very feeling individual, you know, not to apply your heart into situations, because that's also that can muddy the waters, not just logic, because all of a sudden you can feel pity or certain other elements that override your initial seed of doubt. And you're like, oh, but what if? And then you start making situation excuses because you start judging by your own standards, and you should have based it purely on your own instincts. That seed of doubt was always correct.
That's the thing I like to say. Yeah, absolutely, because the universe, I think it's very personable. So somebody can feel positive, often experience the same person. Another person might feel negative from. Because I like to say all the time is your God is somebody else's devil, and I think that fits. Pretty diverse. I mean, how much people are. Your God you pray to is somebody else's devil, or not maybe to that extreme, but I think the universe is very personable. I mean, how it's even called the you verse. It's a part of you, and you're a part of it, and so on and so forth. But absolutely, I've had some experiences where people felt very positive, and other people felt really negative from the exact same happening.
Yeah, well, like in that situation, what I was trying to illuminate in this that Austin kind of had a what negative experience, right? You could call it. It was very dark, he had that feeling up his leg, all of that. Whereas you, and when you sent that number, and that's what clarified like that whole protection and that whole white light surrounding you, and it was like confirmed by it. And I was like, oh, maybe that's why you didn't have the same experience as Austin, right?
Right. Yeah. It's very personable for sure.
Yeah, Laurie, we should go over that actually. Skeet, if you want to explain what Laurie's talking about a little bit more.
Yeah, we was at the second little house we got together at, and they just asked me though, well, can you try to do one of those readings for me? And so I just sat there and tried to just really ground myself and tap in and offer my energy up, and was able to. And it's weird because you're kind of being the spirit box in that situation. So for me, when I go into those meditative states and I try to do that, it's almost like I got to sift through what words I'm forcing into my heads, and what words that are coming natural, and kind of sift through that and try to gather the sentence that's trying to relate to me. And that night I did that for Lori and Whitty, and it hit home for him. So you know what I mean? I'm not again, I'm not trying to say I'm psychic or whatever, but yeah, I was able to do that.
It more than hit home. and Laurie will tell you how much it hit home. Yeah, there was many things. Like, this is why when I was saying about, look for specifics, like, it spoke volumes to Laurie. There was some undeniable stuff that came out, right?
Right. And again, it just brings back the seeker part into me where I'm just wanting to, I just want to seek. I just want to do what I can internally and externally to experiment and experience what's happening here on this plane and on the other side. So
It's good. We're all on our own journey. That's why I learned very early on. I've run into so many people that are like panicked, and they almost force this on people that either don't want to hear it or aren't ready to hear it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
do you want to be pushed into an ice cold pool with your phone in your pocket? Neither do other people. Everyone's on their own fucking journey. Just
Exactly. Yeah,
be
exactly that. I
open,
mean,
have
if
a
people are
conversation.
inquisitive, it's different if they're inquisitive and they're asking you, or whatnot, got an interest in it. But yeah, don't shove anything down anyone's throat. I agree with that.
That's why, especially with everything, but my Friday streams, it's always an open conversation. I've had people in here that are like, I don't believe in any of this. It's all bullshit. And I'm like, cool, tell me why. Let's talk. Like, I want to know.
Yeah. And also, we all like to be flippant now and again and joke around and like take the piss, right? So, like, there's times where you might like, oh, yeah, I'm listening and taking it seriously, but you still might be some degree flippant with some of the things, because that's also our way of dealing with these things. When we're confounded by something and we don't know how to deal with it, often it's easier to either ignore it or shirk it off with humor. And they're like human behaviors, like displayed to us in all different ways.
Right. Yeah. And then I also find it too, like opening myself up, like Lori's describing there, and doing these things. Like, again, I don't claim to know what the hell I'm doing. I just try.
No,
You know what I mean? I try. I try to be open, honest, and but I feel like it also leaves an imprint. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things that you won't forget for the
And I
conduit,
think
for the
people
psychic,
appreciate that as Skeet, because if they are inquisitive of their own accord and their own nature, and they appreciate that perspective that you're coming from, that you're not going, oh, I'm a Mr. Know-it-all, and I know the way, and is speaking on it as some authority. No, you've got your own questions, you're on your own path, you're trying to find out the answers too.
Right. Yeah. There's no way ever, no matter how long I do this and go around and do these type of things, I will never say I'm an expert on something that is. You know what I mean? I don't think we have the words or the verbiage or anything to describe exactly what that is. I think it's a very complex situation that's going on around us, and we're too simplistic to describe it. Like, we can experience it and we can know it, and we can have internal peace with gaining the knowledge that we gain from it. Fully understand it, I don't ever want to be there. I always want to be gaining as much knowledge as possible and growing in that aspect.
I think the three of us up here are very much the same in that saying where it's like the more I learn, like the more I know, the more I realize I don't know. And I think all three of us are very similar in that,
No, I agree with that. Yeah, is like the inner light, the George Harrison song, right? The less you, the more you know, the less you know, or whatever it is.
Not George Harrison.
Yeah, it's
No,
kind of
George
like
Harrison.
that. The more you open up to yourself to these things, the more you actually illuminate. Actually, I know fuck all, and you're always going to have all these questions. They don't actually. Is the more you answer questions, the more questions you have, in a way.
Absolutely, Laura.
And again, that's why I'm so big on doing, this side of my channel. Always have, always will. And it's all about having a conversation and, talking about, some topics are more fun. Some can be a little heavier and personal, but I feel I'm called to share things like, hey, did you know we all have natural psychic abilities, and like all the shit we're fed isn't real, and there's this stuff going on, and you know what caused the Maui fires, that's weird, and all kinds of stuff, because just on a personal level and an overall level, just life, the world, society, it's like there's so much shit going on. There's so much I want to share, and I want people to know. And I like that we all come together and talk about this stuff, because talking to other people is, for at least for me, it has been the most valuable experience, especially people that are completely opposite of me in their views and everything.
Well,
I've
that
learned
is
the most. I love it.
that is the human experience, is it not? It's the shared experience. It's the reason why we are social creatures. If it's not to share our experiences with each other, then what is it for? You know what I mean? As much as we're all on our own paths, it is that shared experience. And when you actually can connect with others, and you actually start inquiring about things, and you can actually display, hey, yeah, that's also happened to me, or I understand what you mean by that. You know, that's where connections are made.
Yeah, that's why, you know, like I said, you know, like
It's like what Laurie says there about how that bonded you, her, and Witty. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
the shared experience, and it's like you both tapped into something, like it, not just in terms of spiritual, but also emotional, right? And it's like, it's something that, yeah, only you three at that moment in time, you all went through something, and it was like it connected you, forevermore.
Right, yeah.
Oh no, Kayla, not on a human level.
On a
What do
human
you
level.
mean, Kayla? What do you mean? That's our peanut impression. If you didn't know,
Which
Skeet.
makes me want to bring up another point. A good psychic, I've refused readings for people because I'm like, I don't like your energy. That's another sign of a good psychic.
Right. I don't want your dirty energy in my mind.
Cannot share my Starbucks. I am not sharing my latte with you. Go
Right.
away.
Maybe if you wrap your whole person in a condom before you do that.
Right now, he's telling lies to you all.
Oh my god, I love you guys.
I'll take my dirty
Stop now.
Dirty energy. Know a few of them. To talk about a few of them on this channel. Oh.
Your energy comes with antibiotics. You got an issue.
There's cream. They need some ointment.
Right.
Put some just a little ointment
This is
on
the sure
that.
sign that the stream has gone on long enough when we go into the gutter, you know.
Right. Your energy's giving me a drip. I had to be on an antibiotic cycle to recover from the last time I tried to read for me. So no, I can't get my brain chlamydia again.
Oh, well, so everyone make sure you're subbed up to Skeet. He's got some stuff in the works if you would like to support him. I'm sure Steph will drop his links to do so.
And I think we're gonna probably maybe do this again, like as a little trio of terror. We might go over some more paranormal stuff all together as a trio. I think it's been
Absolutely.
fun.
Anytime. Like
How we were talking, wow, Death gave me an idea earlier when she was talking about people that end up with these channels that are overproduced and something always happens. Let's make a list of those and comb through some stuff.
Yeah, because I came up with this idea that we go through a load of like paranormal stuff, and we actually come through it through the angle of a skeptic's eye, and let's debunk, and let's try and separate the wheat from the chaff here a little bit, and try and find some legitimate stuff out there. And that might be fun for us to do, like for some fun streams.
Yeah, I want to do that because there's a couple of channels I'm like, bitch, please, like.
Yeah.
Well, then hopefully here in within the next year, we'll have the follow-up piece we can watch over here again. Yeah,
Oh,
that's the
definitely.
plans, anyways. But
Thank
yeah,
you,
I'm definitely
Steph.
open to anything like that. And we're almost with
But
the
what we
stream
might
and
do is we
the
might hop and skipping around and whatnot, and we're getting and Skeet's going to start live streaming more on the Terror Barn and get that going again. So the next paranormal one we do as a trio, we might do over on the Terror Barn.
yeah,
Yay.
definitely open to
And I
all
can
that.
just
Like,
sit there.
yeah, for
I ain't
sure.
got to worry about my
Definitely for all that.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to all that. And with we got a few hits on the PayPal, and I'm gracious for that. That puts us with the money I've allotted, as long as my cars and life don't eat that shit before the 27th.
Yeah.
We're
And I'm
about
going to
halfway
plug it.
there
I'm
to
going to
the
plug it
cost
again. If
of.
you all want more upstairs episodes, right? And I know that you all fucking love it. You're going to have to pay for it.
And the next upstairs parody
I
is
do
going to be the
Skeet's dirty
commercial.
work. I'll plug it for him and
Right.
do all the money grabbing so he doesn't have to look like an e-beggar.
Well, at this, I don't care, because at this point, I've already produced the fan funding, Phantom Farm, the money I gathered, and things leading up to that, helped produce that film. So I mean, it got the equipment that I needed and shit. So I mean, it's fan funding. I don't have no issue
everyone
doing
can
that
see
because
that
I
the
produce.
money's actually going into the projects themselves. I mean, we can all see that was a stunning effort. I mean, round of
Right,
applause
and that's all
once
I
again.
use
Yeah, we
my
thank you,
cash.
Skeet. We thank you for that documentary. It was such a
Yeah,
fun
thank you
night
guys for
hanging out
watching
with
it.
you.
Anytime. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, and I'm glad we finally got that piece done. And now we're getting ready to dive into. Well, I got so many different fucking projects going on. That's.
I know,
But
but you like your plate spinning. You're like me. You like to be busy all
I
the
have
time.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, you're exactly like me because the head doesn't stop ticking.
Right. Yeah. I gotta stay busy.
Yeah. On that note, it's been lovely, everyone, hasn't it? It's
Yes,
been a long stream, though. I think Raven's
sincerely
got
appreciate it.
Yep. Make sure you support Skeeter. Thanks everybody for being here, all my members, and just for hanging out. Like, I love Fridays. They're like they're my favorite, man.
Yeah, that's why
this is a real treat. This is a
right. That's when I said, "Look, man, I was going to do a screening." I'm like, "Well, Raven does her Freaky Fridays.
I know.
She'd
Thank
want
you
to throw
so
that over
much.
there."
Yes. Thanks. Like, he texted me and I was like, "What, really?" I thought, fuck yeah. I was like, so like I really am like honored that.
Yeah, I figured it'd be fun. It fit right into the Freaky Friday you got going on over here. And I don't know how many times I've watched Phantom Farm now. it's been more than a couple.
It's great.
It's $5 on Amazon Prime, you guys. That helps go support Skeeter and the crew. If you're able to, go purchase it, donate to his PayPal, his Cash App, it'll all. I trust Skeeter. I know for a fact he uses his donations towards producing what he says.
Right.
He does what the fuck he says he's gonna do.
And share that
people.
shit out. I mean, even if you've watched it yourselves now, like, get your family to watch it, friends, whatever, share that shit out.
Yeah, that's all I use the PayPal and the Cash App for. And well, if Raven don't mind the whole Halloween short, she donated and made that possible. So I mean, that's all. Yeah, that's all that goes to.
She's an enabler, is our Raven.
Yeah.
Right. She said, "Go out there and kill that witch." She said, "Go kill that witch by the graveyard. Go get her." I'm like, "All right."
Like,
you taught me into it.
That would be another reason for Nix to hate you now. He hates people that financially fund Skeeter, just like Witty.
Well, my mom and I had no problem because she's watched it. She knows all about my online shenanigans, and her response was, "Hell yeah, he seems like a cool fucking dude," and we donated. So
well, I definitely appreciate it because you guys allowed me to get my first movie kill. I was like,
it
fuck,
was
I
so
finally,
good.
That
I get to kill somebody as Michael. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I should have had the link. Damn it, I'm the worst fucking YouTuber. I don't have the link for that. God damn it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was filmed way before the interview. That was filmed. Shit. Well, I said I was 36. I'm good. In February, I'll be 38. So
Sarah. I have to put Sarah's comment up because you're not using
no,
it for
Sarah.
shitty touching. I love you,
I don't know.
Sarah.
I might use it to get some butterflies. You know. Who knows?
Oh, the butterflies. God, the butterflies. Oh my God. All right, we're getting slab happy. Thank you again so much, Skeeter, Death, everybody for being here. I might be back on Sunday. I might be back on Tuesday. It depends on my schedule. We're gonna talk about more monsters, but of a different kind. So I will see you guys then. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Steph, for dropping all the links and stuff. And Death and Ski, I love you guys.
Yep.
They're
Love you
like,
right back. Appreciate you guys.
no, I love you
We'll
guys.
do this again. Bye, everyone.
Okay, bye.
Great night, guys.
Bye.